Oh no.
That's okay.
That's
See,
okay.
1
We didn't
point
get
for
to-
massacre.
First massacre.
Yeah.
Now we're recording.
Dory, there was one episode that we actually forgot to turn on the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I turned it on already, and then I pressed it off.
That was Nick Ross, right?
Yeah. Another Ross.
Yeah. My
Nick Boss Ross.
I don't.
Is it? No.
I mean, he could be. I have a fractional
No.
family, so it's like tough
Yeah.
to say. But yeah.
So we do start everyone with a would you rather,
Okay.
and this one is
You're gonna be really close.
yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. That's
There we go.
So it's would you rather be around only complaining people or bragging people?
Oh Jesus! Who goes
Ooh.
first?
It's
Whoever
free flowing.
thinks-
Yeah,
yeah,
whoever answers.
Yeah.
Never me, actually. No, because I think of
Complaining
the
people or
ideas.
bragging people.
God, they're so awful in their own ways.
Yeah. I'd probably pick complaining.
I was just gonna say I think I'd pick complaining too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Why? See, this is one of the only ones I haven't actually thought about.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think about this one, but
'cause-
I usually have like an advantage because I sit there and think about it for like hours.
It's just like it's such an unattractive quality. Like,
Yeah.
and that's not to say like I like confidence. I think there's a big difference between confidence and like somebody who's doing like a
Right.
braggy thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But it just is like,
Well, they're both very unattractive.
yeah.
Yeah. Let's not
I
discount
think
complaining.
bragging is
Yeah.
more unattractive
Is
than
it?
a
Is it?
complainer. Like a
Probably.
little bit. Yeah.
At least the complainer, I would like.
It'd be
I'd
easier
know
to
what he's
follow.
saying. Yeah, like he's just complaining about something. It's just who he is.
Isn't
The
it
bragger,
easier-
I feel like he's
Yeah.
trying some other thing, and he's
You know, you
trying
guys
to
are
lie to me.
You're almost
So-
convincing me there. I was gonna go bragging because in my mind I was like, well, at least they have something to brag about. Like something's going right for their life.
No, he's trying to
The
fool you.
complainer's like
He's trying to fool
The
you.
complainer's gonna have bad energy and just like get it all over you and stuff.
No.
But I think you're allowed to say to a complainer, like, listen, man, like, why don't we reframe your mindset here? Like, what's
Doesn't
going
work.
on? But like a bragger, you can't be like, hey, why don't you stop talking about how big your dick is? Like, it's just sort of
This
like
is a would you
weird-
rather. It's locked in stone. You can't convince them otherwise.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well,
I'd
Yeah.
still take complainers because
Me too.
braggers, they're
You know what is
There's
worse though?
some
You know what
other-
is worse? A
What?
bragger who has nothing to brag about. And you're just like, what are you talking? Like you're delusional. What are you bragging about?
right.
And some complainers, you can kind of feel bad for them a little bit. You're
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
That's
I picked
true.
Yeah, I know.
And I can sympathize with
I'm
the
thinking it
complainers
out
more.
right now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it out and maybe
Yeah.
changing my answer.
And I'd probably run into a bunch of complainers where I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
A bragger, I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
care.
you just join them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then I got to
Yeah.
click. Braggers are too individual. They'd be all bragging about separate shit.
I thought this was gonna be a good one. It's always really quick.
It's because I'm smart.
It's because you're smart. Bragger.
Bragger.
I was complaining there. You were bragging.
Yeah.
Do you got a would you rather you can think of off the top of your head?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite one?
Like mine go real dark real quick. So like
Fucking
probably
go
Yeah.
for it.
No,
something
you
that
start
we
with.
can, like,
We've already killed kids
No,
like twice in this.
Oh,
Yeah.
podcast,
Children
yeah.
have died very easily.
So like I honestly it's dark. Like my sisters and I do this a lot, and so do like my girlfriends. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
thing we
Fucking
do quite
go for
often.
I do it a lot in car rides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
go
it's
for it.
super inappropriate. I'm just wondering who's gonna watch this right now.
Nobody.
But, like
Let-
it's like yeah.
If you need, watch some
We're-
of our episodes,
we're basically
and you realize
alone
it doesn't
here.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go. Nobody's watching.
Okay. Well, like we've definitely.
Unless you send it to your friends and family. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
which is
what
a good
I
idea.
have said it to my friends and
Yeah.
family, but like we used to do this one, my sister and I, where it would be like instead of like would you rather, it was sort of like we would reframe it like how much money would it take you to like dot
Okay.
dot
Oh,
dot.
okay. Guys
right.
have done that too.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
usually around gay things.
Yeah, so this one was around like how much money would it take you to have like sex with a conjoined twin if one of the twins was dead, but you're having sex with the alive
Wow.
twin. You like that?
I can
kind of
see why
stuff?
you asked who
Yeah,
these
that's why I was like,
things.
I'm not really, like the audience might be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Is that the one you want to go with, or is that
Yeah.
one
well,
we're going
that's.
with?
I mean, yeah, let's do it. That's what my sister and
Okay,
I.
so
would,
wait,
yeah.
let me see if I understand this.
Yeah, say it
So
back
you
to
ha-
me now. Yeah,
Twins. One's
Con-
dead.
conjoined.
Conjoined. Oh,
Yeah.
and one's dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you're having sex with
How
the
much
alive
money would
twin
I
now.
need?
Yeah.
Do they look the same?
Yeah, I think
Exactly
conjoined
the same?
twins are generally
Yeah,
identical.
exactly the same
I'm
though.
not really
Is there a
sure.
better looking one?
Are we
The
deciding?
alive one's probably better looking
Yeah,
at
yeah.
this point.
Are we
Like,
deciding
how
a
long
sex?
How long have they been dead for?
like long enough. Like they're not like. I mean, it hasn't like gone septic and killed.
Long
a
enough for
living
what?
One. Like they're dead. Like they're clearly dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
But
decomposing?
You have to have sex like to completion as well. Like you have to like finish.
Yeah,
It's
for
tougher
sure,
for a
sure.
girl than a guy, right?
For sure.
You know.
I mean,
you'd have to
Yeah.
be around there longer.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
I can get it done pretty
Yeah.
quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it depends.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Okay, are we
Yeah.
deciding on the sex of the twins?
Yeah. I mean, whatever you want to have sex.
Is it
with.
how much money?
How much
Yeah,
money
how
would
much
it
money
take?
do you need to
Okay.
do
It'd be
it?
like your preferred
Yeah,
whatever you're into
yeah,
fucking, like whatever, you know.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it would be.
That much.
Oh, do people know? Do people know?
Yeah, because we're talking about it, so it'd be like a thing that people would like know. Yeah,
What do you
People
mean
would find out about
yeah.
it.
I would. People we
So
leave
it's
it
not
at
a
the sense.
secret.
People would definitely find out about it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're on.
Oh, that makes it way
You're live
worse.
right now.
yeah,
Oh, that makes it way
People
worse.
will know.
yeah.
No. I just mean like if
Yeah,
would
yeah.
people find out I had
Yeah,
sex
yeah,
with them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this guy's a bragger. A girl. yeah.
Yeah,
They're gonna
not
tell
a
everybody.
Oh
Yeah,
man, that
that'd be
makes it
great.
way worse.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta
Yeah.
add. I gotta at least
Yeah,
double this.
yeah.
You at least double it.
Do you know your answer? What was your answer when you did this?
I mean, the funniest thing was I have 3 sisters. I'd play with my one little sister, and she was.
What do you
we'd
mean
call
by
her
play?
Like we play this game. Like
Oh,
we play
sure.
lots of games with
Okay.
her. And she was like, we just coined her nickname was like the cheapest bitch because she would be like, $1,200, and we're like,
Yeah.
$1,200. What's wrong with
It's
you?
weirdly exact too. $1,200. Like
Yeah,
it's not
she-
1,000. It's
Like
1,200.
any question, it was like
yeah.
nothing was out of the
$19.99.
question. Literally like under 10 grand.
Not the
Like,
Price
she
is
would
Right.
do anything. Mine was high though. Like I think for a lot of these ones, like I'd be like, God, I don't know. Like,
I feel like I have. If people are gonna know, like I have to have a lot of money.
yeah, because you have to like.
I gotta be
take
able to
that
get
into
away. I
consideration.
gotta be able to.
But they would know. Would they also know you got a lot of money?
Yeah, but at that point I don't care.
You know,
'Cause
like
then I'm
you're
like,
getting paid to do it.
Yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
care. Like if nobody knew,
I don't know what your.
I could justify like, okay, how much is rent?
We've
Like-
talked about this
Yeah.
before though, so I think your justification for a lot of money is pretty low, or like your
Well,
amount
that's
of
the
what.
thing.
what
No,
your
but I
amount
need to be
is.
able to get away. Like if I just fuck my
Oh,
twin, I need
for
to be
like a
able to
bit.
like go.
No, not your twin.
No,
It's a-
oh,
It's a twin.
it's a-
oh, I made it way darker.
you thought it was your dead
no,
conjoined
not
twin.
my twin. I thought it was like my sibling though. That's where I went.
No.
Oh, it's not
no.
my
It's
sibling.
A.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Okay, well,
oh, it's not that
I
bad.
know
then.
Yeah, you
That's
did
not
it
as
like-
bad. I
you did
thought
it
it was gonna
$1,200.
be incest.
$1,200.
Oh no, we did incest ones too.
Okay.
But like this
Yeah,
was
how
the
much is my
incest
rent?
one. Yeah.
$1,200.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I said like 150. Like it's a realistic amounts of money, and like the
Yeah.
other point, the caveat is like you get a duffel bag full of cash, so it's not like you just
Oh,
get
you
it
just
when you're
get the
done,
cash.
which is like
Yeah,
another
yeah.
I think,
Oh, I
incentive
see.
to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
make a realistic number.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
one of those big checks.
No.
Like if people find out, I could do it for $100,000. I think.
Yeah,
I feel like it'd be pretty low, like 50,000.
yeah. The only
People found out though.
Yeah, but they know I got $50,000.
yeah, they do know that you did it for
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
But I
Oh,
mean, they
that's
would
true,
judge.
that's
They would
true.
still
Yeah,
judge
yeah.
the shit out of you. Like it would be a very,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'd be a controversial thing.
Yeah.
Hey, he's buying something.
Yeah.
I know,
Let's go for dinner.
right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, 50 to 100,000. I probably. do.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
only thing
50
my
to
sister,
100, hey, so it's 50.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
your
50.
50, like your lowest line.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of what
yeah.
you do.
Well,
with
I'm
the
just
worst-
saying it
worst
depends
negotiator.
on their personality, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
50.
attached to another dead body, but like that's fine.
you know.
But no, like speaking
Depends
of
on the
incest,
personality.
the only thing she wouldn't do for like a small amount of money is we did this thing where it was like, well, this is a would you rather. Would you? She was like, you have to have sex with dad, or I get murdered in front of you. And I was like, oh my God, I have sex with dad. And she was like, I can't. Oh my God, don't do that. And I was like,
Yeah.
so what? I watch you get fucking murdered,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
instead of
Your
having
reaction
sex
is
with-
making me think I want
yeah,
to kill
like, I
you.
was like, what are you talking
Oh,
about?
wow.
And she was like,
Yeah.
I would never. She's like, let me die. Like I couldn't. Like I wouldn't. You
Yeah,
can't. And
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, no, I think I would have to like have sex.
Wait,
with
she's
a
saying
parent.
she would prefer you to let her
yeah,
die.
Then
She'd-
to
It's not
carry
even
the
her.
guilt
She's
of
saying,
knowing
yeah,
that I
yeah.
slept with our
Oh,
father.
interesting.
Yeah, that's a good one too, though. Like,
Okay.
But also would
would
you
I
rather?
want to
I feel
have
like
sex
people
with my
lie.
dad?
yeah, I didn't. I told
No,
the truth.
I know,
I was like,
yeah,
I
it
fucked
sounds
dad,
like
which
you-
is horrible. I hope my dad
But
doesn't
I-
listen to this,
yeah.
but that would be
yeah,
goddamn
yeah.
Does he
nightmare,
know about
really.
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually a huge fan.
Probably.
Didn't we have a similar one to that? Something with our parents, or we had to do something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Would you blow? It was a guy's one, but one penis, or
Watch your parents do it.
no?
No, it was us blow
Or-
10, or watch our parents suck a dick, or something.
yeah, suck one.
Awful.
Yeah, suck one each.
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. You have to do 10
Yeah,
to completion,
right,
This
or
is under
watch
the
your parents
assumption
do
that
one
you guys
each.
don't like sucking dicks, and that's that.
So far,
So
not a
far,
thing
yeah.
that
So
you're
far.
into, so it's
Yeah.
like,
I,
yeah.
can't-
I
I
mean,
can't
I'm
stop.
I'm
but
only
so,
32,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean,
So
who knows?
far, it hasn't taken.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hasn't
Yeah,
taken
yeah,
off
yeah.
yet.
No.
Yeah, okay.
He said he would rather suck a dick than make out with a man.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Really? Because it's just more transactional, or like what?
Yeah, it's
like,
more
the
personal.
makeout
I
is
think
more
it's so
intimate?
intimate.
We were-
though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's
kissing.
way more intimate.
See, I've made out
kissing.
with a lot of gay men.
Have you?
Like maybe 6.
Okay.
All like drunken weird escapades, but
And you, so that has no issue for you, but you don't.
No,
want
it
to put
reminds
the
me
But
dick
he
like-
in
wouldn't
your
fuck him
no.
or do
mouth? But
anything else.
Would you suck a dick then?
No.
Or- oh no.
No,
okay.
no. That's just like kind of like college
think
girls,
th-
you know? You're just doing it for attention.
We were just
I'm
we're-
drunk and it's funny. It's
I do
whatever.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think I'd rather suck dick than make out. I don't want to rub beards and stuff.
That is weird. I did say that. The mustache rubbing.
Yeah, right. You said that was
It's odd.
Yeah.
It's odd.
I think I've
'Cause
done
you're so
it
you
something.
experienced it, so like
Yeah,
you
so
don't,
you're so
like-
used to like
Yeah.
smoothness, right? So
Yeah.
it's like a different sensation.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Not particularly comfortable either.
like the dick just feels like it's just me and a dick. The
Yeah.
making out seems like it's me and this other guy.
I just picture
And
you
we're,
like
like, doing
staring at it.
this.
You're like, all right, me and
Yeah.
you, buddy.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like
We'll get through this.
you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
know what's interesting is like
that?
I've also made out with women, and I'm not.
Right.
I mean, I'm heterosexual.
Yeah.
But I think women are like beautiful and attractive, and like definitely no problem doing that. So
Right.
actually, kind of a turn on sometimes. But then it's if I'm faced with like a vagina, I just don't. I don't want to put my mouth on it. Like I'm not interested at all.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not like I can't wait to try that. Like I'm like I really would never want to do that. Like I just
Has
don't
it happened though?
No,
No,
and it's
no, no.
because I just can't get myself like I'm not.
Right.
I would have no
Yeah, yeah.
interest, and I think I would actually have a hard time. Like I'd be like, oh God, I don't.
Yeah.
It's just I don't have any. Like,
See, I've only
like,
made out
That's
with
fair.
gay men. I think making out with a straight man would be weird and a little gay.
Yeah.
You know?
more
'Cause
gay.
Yeah, a little gay.
It's got to be a
Somehow
little
more
more
gay.
gay, I
Yeah, it's a
think.
little more gay because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we're just.
Because then
Yeah.
you both got to convince each other.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause how does that
There's
happen?
Exactly. There's
How
something
does that
going on.
happen?
There's something weird
Yeah,
going
It
yeah.
does
on.
happen sometimes.
You guys are like
though.
wrestling, and then it's just like,
Have you
but-
guys seen that Black Mirror episode where the guys are fucking?
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
video
yeah,
game?
in the video
so,
game?
Like shit
Yeah.
happens.
No, I didn't see that one.
oh, it's
What?
Yeah.
No,
So
no,
they're
I
like,
don't like Black Mirror that
they're
much.
like playing this video game.
That's my hot take. Black
really?
Mirror. Don't really like it.
Your
I like
hot
it.
takes, I'm not necessarily on
No,
board with many
that's
of
good.
them, but
That's
like
good.
I think Black Mirror is fantastic.
They're poorly
I like
thought out hot takes. That's the whole point of them. I don't really think about
Yeah,
them
you'll
too much.
find out. You'll find
Yeah,
out
yeah,
within the
yeah.
hour that our
Yeah,
hot
great.
takes
I
aren't well
can't
thought
wait,
out.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't have too many, but
I like it.
Black
Anyways,
Mirror?
it's two guys. It's two guys,
yeah.
and they're playing this video game. It's this virtual
but they're like
reality
best
one.
friends. It'd be like you two doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
we go in a game,
Yeah.
and you become like
An
the
avatar.
person. Yeah,
Was one a woman?
your one's a woman,
Okay.
and they start fucking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that wasn't that gay.
No,
Like
but
if me and him just started fucking on the table, there's like it's a little different.
No,
Because-
but did you watch the whole episode? Like their
Yeah.
fear was that they were in fact gay because they were not in real life when they're themselves in their own bodies. They had no sexual attraction to each other. But in this video
Right.
game, it becomes like an obsession. Like they're like obsessively fucking in this video game. But like
Yeah.
he's a woman. Like
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
them's a woman. One of them's like an Asian dude. Like
Yeah.
they're totally different.
Like
both
I think
different
it's
than themselves.
definitely more gay for the guy who is a woman. I think, right?
Well, they were trying to figure it out. So then
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
like, I feel
They're
like
trying
we
to figure
need
out who's more gay.
Well, they were trying to figure out if they're gay at all.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were both
Yeah,
like
yeah.
with women.
They, like,
in
met
real
up
life.
and, like, made out or
Yeah,
something,
'cause
right?
They were like, we
Yeah.
need to know if we can like if the chemistry is real.
Yeah,
in-
yeah, yeah.
Outside of the
I
video
didn't like
game.
the ending. I
mean,
thought it was
but-
like
Well, isn't the
lame.
chemistry real because you're friends? So there is some mental.
This is
connection,
why Black Mirror
right?
is excellent.
No, but I
Because it
just
makes
felt
There's
like
good episodes. I'll give you that, but there's a lot of bad
no,
ones.
but I feel like they're in a game. Like if we went into some world, yes, if I knew it was you, whatever, but you were a woman.
But
right?
they do know each other, right?
They
Yeah, they know each
Yeah,
other.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like it wouldn't matter. Like if you're just a woman, I'm just like whatever. This is kind of freaky, whatever. That's still different than me just like fucking you right now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
100% because it's heterosexuality is.
I was more curious about the guy who was a woman.
It's
and
100%
he was
a physical
experiencing
thing.
what it was like to have sex
And
with
he
a woman.
talked about it though, and that's what they
Yeah,
said. He was
yeah.
like, and his buddy.
That
was
I
like,
could see being like
yeah.
that's addicting.
I have dreams.
But
all
isn't
the time that I would do.
heterosexuality exclusively a physical attraction?
No, I don't think so.
You get attracted mentally, but the initial attraction is 100%.
Yeah, it's got
Oh,
physical.
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
has to be,
definitely.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but
It's
then
like any
a
other attraction.
multifaceted
Yeah,
thing.
it's
the first,
But-
like, you
a
find a
physical. You
physical
find
one.
women attractive.
Yeah.
Mentally, you might find men attractive.
Right.
Right. Like that's what a friendship I think is.
Yeah,
And
basically.
basically that you find that mentality
Right.
attractive, so you like surrounding
So the
yourself with
difference
that.
would be
It's just completely physical.
it's physical.
think.
Yeah, I guess.
But
so.
then I know a lot of people, more women than men, I guess, who had been historically their entire lives heterosexual, and then they just like multiple women who met women that they fell in love with, and they were like had no lesbian tendencies. Like I'm currently friends with multiple women. One of them was engaged to a woman. One of them was with her for like a different woman for like 4 years, and then is now married to a man. So
Right.
like I feel like women will fall in love with other women sometimes.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I looked
but
at. I
there's
looked,
still gotta be a-
and
I
like
looked-
but identify as totally heterosexual, but then be like I just met this chick and fell in love with her.
yeah, I did look up the
But then is
percentages.
she? Maybe she just didn't know.
Well, no, because they're both of
Or
them are
she-
back to men now.
or
so.
she knew,
I
and she
think-
just didn't really acknowledge it that much.
No, I just think like I honestly believe that sexuality is like on a very sliding
For sure.
spectrum. Like I think it's whatever the fuck.
Was it
like,
Kinsey scale?
Yeah,
It's like that.
Scale,
You
yeah.
just 1 to 6.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
it could still be on a scale. Like,
Yeah, 'cause I
if
think
you're
it's not-
acknowledging it's a scale, there has to be a physical attraction there.
Well, so, yeah, I guess you could be a 2 on the scale, and then
Yeah.
you could just meet like your unicorn lady that you're like.
Yeah,
Yeah, right,
I'm
right. She just
interested, like,
that was just the perfect 2.
yeah, for you. And then you're like, but I still love dick, so I'm gonna go back to doing that. 'cause
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
you can-
just,
yeah, I totally love
difficult
both, man.
For that's
Yeah.
what they all
Yeah.
ended up inevitably going back with men.
I
But
haven't seen a dick that I've really wanted to
I have.
actually suck yet.
have you?
I have
Seen
it.
one that- oh, that's your problem.
Well, yeah. Okay, you don't need to brag now. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like
Fucking bragger over
No, but
here.
I've actually thought about that or read about it that heterosexual men are often very attracted to transsexuals
Okay.
Right.
because they have the physical aspects of a woman, but they have a penis.
I have read
so,
that actually.
So men they masturbate all their lives, right? So they're
Right.
seeing their own penis, so they have some sexual attraction to their own penis.
Lots
Right.
of women masturbate.
Or penises in general. But in
People
penises in
masturbate
general,
all
like
their
you're a lot of times you're looking at that while you're
Yeah.
doing it.
Right.
And so you get to some kind of sexual attraction to a penis. Or like men need a penis in porn. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah, they do. Yeah, it's a very common thing.
Yeah, I way rather watch a porn with a guy and a girl than two chicks.
Same. I don't mind it.
I
every
need
once in a while,
I
but
need
yeah.
somebody representing me.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's some kind of like
Yeah.
link there with penises and men.
Right.
So that's why like a transsexual or a woman
Yeah.
with a penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I
has
have read
some-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facts. Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Erin, I actually don't know how I know you. Do you know how we know each other? I was thinking about this. I wrote it down actually.
Well, I know your ex-girlfriend, Rebecca.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, Rebecca.
And well, you knew my ex-husband. So
Yeah.
Who's that?
you invited your
Yeah,
fucking
right,
poetry
right.
blonde. Or no, your book
Who was
blonde.
it?
Matt Evans.
Yeah.
Do I know that guy?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, I don't know that guy.
No.
Yeah, he's in finance. He looks like a MMA fighter though, so like
Yeah.
maybe he's like a confusing visual person.
Yeah. Shout out Matt.
Yeah. Shout out Matt. Hello.
Shout out Matt.
He's not watching
no,
this.
He's not watching.
Yeah, he probably won't be, but he's yeah, he's rad. So no, I was with him for 10 years. So and we're buddies ish still. His
Buddies-ish.
His girlfriend really doesn't like me, but that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Fair
So that's
enough.
that. So if you're watching,
Yeah, Ashley.
yeah, she hates.
I met her when I was like 16.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a long time ago.
That's so
K-Days.
you've known her way longer than.
That's
He knows-
who this
he
guy's
knows,
married
he knows her
to?
actually too. Yeah, he knows her. Not
No,
married. They're
not
dating.
married, but they would actually be like considered
Ashley?
common law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
random.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't
Wow,
talk to
that's
her
a
for like
weird.
8
That's a
years.
small world.
Easy, yeah.
Ashley. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. What was that? Who else
Leslie.
was in that group?
Leslie.
Oh,
That's who you're
yeah.
thinking of. Yeah, Leslie
I
Green.
don't know
Shit.
these people. But
Yeah. We met him at K-Days. Me and Tyler, when we were-
And
when
John,
we were
right?
young. Yeah, I don't know if John really didn't like John, I don't think. Or something.
Oh, well, there was one of them that did.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't
It
remember.
was so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
interesting.
15 years ago.
That's fun. Yeah, it's nice.
Small world.
Yeah, it is a small world. So yeah, I don't know if that's how I'm not sure. But also
Maybe
like,
just like osmosis of
Edmonton's
knowing
so
other people.
fucking small,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
truly, and like
Literally, it was Instagram was like recommending to follow you, and that's probably how it happened.
no,
Maybe.
No?
I don't know.
No.
Have you
No.
guys
Like
met?
I
I've
mean,
known
like
you for
maybe after.
longer than like
Yeah.
Oh,
Instagram.
okay. Oh, okay.
Like, well, I don't know. Like I would say like I don't know how we first met.
Yeah, I was trying to
Yeah.
think of what the first time we met was.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think with it, like we both do creative things as well, so you end up
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
in peripheral circles. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah, I just did drugs for the first
Yeah,
bit of
you
my
know what?
life.
I didn't.
No?
So no.
Good for
No,
you.
no,
Yeah,
no.
I didn't
Early,
do-
not early 20s. I was gonna say early 20s, but I didn't start till like 25.
Yeah, I didn't start till 30.
For about 3 years, I
One.
had a good drug phase,
Did you?
and then nothing now.
Like, what kind of drugs were you doing?
A lot of coke.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a
I
very
never went
common
through that.
Edmonton
He
thing.
loved the coke.
It is, but I never did that. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah?
Everybody thought I was
Isn't
on cocaine.
isn't it wild how prevalent it is?
It
though?
is, and
yeah,
it was-
it's weird.
It's like such a common thing here that like I remember being in university, and do you know like Adam Maitland and those guys?
No, I don't
feel
think
like
so.
you did. So no,
Adam
okay.
Maitland,
Anyways,
no.
I was doing my fine arts degree, and I would like I have a very like buzzy, like bubbly personality,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so like I was in school with these guys for 4 years doing my degree, and it was like our last year, and I just remember being so wiped because I was a bartender. I worked
Yeah.
at like Hudson's on White,
Yeah,
shout
nice.
out, and Earl's Tin Palace,
sure
which
was.
was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
cactus before there was a cactus.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
worked a lot. Like I worked almost full time hours, and I was going to school full time. So I was fucking wiped. Like I was exhausted. I think
Yeah.
it was a playoff run. Does that make sense? Like the Oilers playoff run?
Yeah,
Like the big one?
2006.
The big
Oh, yeah.
one. So I was
2006?
in
Yeah,
university.
2006.
I was
Yeah.
working at Earl's, and I was like fucking wiped. And I come into my studio because I was doing a fine arts degree, and my studio and my friend also, not just my studio partner. I've known him for fucking forever,
Yeah.
and I was like, God, I'm wiped. He's like, what do you just do a bump? And I was like, a bump of what? And he was like, what are you talking about? Of you're always on coke. And I was like, what the fuck did you just say to
What
me?
a
He was
weird-
like, everybody knows you do. He's like, you're like the most coke buzzy person I've ever met. And I was
Whoa.
like, I have never done cocaine in my
Yeah,
entire life. He's like, wait. He's
yeah.
like, that's just your natural resting personality. And I was
Right.
like, yes, it is. And he
That's
was
kinda-
like,
that's
Did, you,
nice
did you
though.
start
crazy.
running though? Like, how many people were talking about that at you?
I did. I was like,
Yeah,
who thinks I
yeah.
do coke? And he's like,
Yeah.
literally
Everybody?
the entire university. And I was like, what the fuck,
I
man?
thought you were gonna say
Like,
universe. The
no,
entire
maybe
universe.
the University of Alberta,
Yeah,
certainly.
yeah.
And I was like, because I
Wow.
was a bartender and I was like around and busy. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
So people just thought I did
It's
a
a
bunch
big
of drugs.
bartender thing too.
I never
Yeah,
did it.
yeah.
No, never. And
No.
not until not till after my divorce, actually, I think. But I still don't. I mean, I've tried it, but I'm not like.
Yeah.
I don't really need it.
No.
Not really.
I'm super hyper already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people who are hyper, I think they like to even be more hyper.
I think it's like it just makes you feel less drunk when you're too drunk.
That's why I like it. Yeah.
That's what I like.
Or liked it.
Yeah. You still. Yeah.
I'm your sponsor, bro.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Well, you know. Yeah,
no, it's been like just over a year.
Yeah.
A year
I
and
saw
3
that.
weeks.
Good for you.
Yeah, my buddy bought me a little coin. I actually have it. It's pretty cool.
Are you
adorable.
Are you sober? All like
Yeah.
sober?
Not like it was like a huge thing or anything. It was just like
Yeah.
I don't get enough writing done.
Right.
I don't get enough writing done.
So you don't do any drugs at all, and you don't
Nothing.
drink?
Nah, nothing.
You don't smoke weed or anything?
No, I never smoked weed.
Really?
Like a little bit in high school.
Yeah, you
high
did a little
school.
bit with us.
Yeah, but I didn't never like.
You guys have known each other since high school?
Yeah.
grade 10.
Wow.
Yeah, we went to Matrix together. That was our big thing.
Reloaded.
Yeah, reloaded.
Yeah, it's a nice coin though.
This is
You know
really
Josh
nice.
Cornelison?
Cool.
I do.
Yeah, he got it for me.
Peripherally, like I don't think I know him well.
Yeah.
But,
Through Randy?
I don't know how I know him,
Oh.
but yeah,
Yeah, he just randomly bought it for me.
that's really
This
nice.
is nice.
Do you
That's
feel
nice.
better? Like, do you feel?
Honestly, after a while, it's just like this is what you feel like. It's
Right.
not like I feel good. I just feel like myself.
Yeah.
But I have noticed, so I get like really bad social anxiety,
Do you?
which I think not anymore, but like
Yeah.
when I go out to like a bar or something,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty common. People are like, oh, I gotta get a
I'm like
drink and I
that.
gotta get
Yeah.
get into it.
Are you like that? You're like that as well?
Yeah, like I get social anxiety, but I don't drink because of it. I don't even drink at all.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
sometimes I
neither
do.
of you drink?
I don't drink.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll drink, but I don't really drink. I don't like notch drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have a beer.
Trying to figure out if you drink or
sometimes.
not.
No, yeah. I don't want to say like I don't drink at all. Like but I can go out and not drink.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so
I
I
typically
would
don't.
never do that for so long.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like I would feel uncomfortable, and I think that's pretty common. That
Social
people-
anxiety?
Yeah, that people
Yeah.
do it, or they get social anxiety, so they drink, and then
Right.
yeah, and so
Right,
it's
right.
because you don't really like train yourself to handle it.
Yeah.
But that's completely gone.
Right.
Like now I don't
Yeah.
feel anything. It's just I feel like myself all the time, which is nice.
Right.
That's nice.
Well, myself is slightly anxious, but I still feel like
Yeah,
myself.
that's fine.
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Moderately anxious, like a 2 out of 10 on the Kinsey scale.
I have like general low level anxiety constantly, but not
Yeah.
social anxiety. Like I don't think I've ever experienced social anxiety really.
Yeah,
just,
I
like-
only did. Well, I guess I did for a long time because I drank, and I think you just
Right.
never learn how to deal with it.
Right.
But now
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. Interesting.
I used
was
to
just
never
like, I
have
feel
it.
uncomfortable and I don't know what to say.
I used to never have it, and then when it was like going through that phase of like going out all the time and like
Yeah.
being
When he
around,
was doing
I never
all the
did coke.
drugs, or,
Yeah.
like-
yeah. Like when they're like it was just coke
bad
all the time. I
influence.
never did. I did like M and stuff, but that's when I just started like, and then I just went cold turkey. I'm
Molly.
like, I can't go out anymore.
MDMA.
MDMA.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like again, like I don't really.
I thought everybody.
And-
I thought you were on. MDMA
Yeah, you're
all
not.
the time.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not.
Aren't you on
yeah.
coke right now?
No, I'm not, guys. I'm not on cocaine. Like that's yeah.
Yeah.
And then after I like got out of it,
Yeah.
and I just went cold turkey. I can't go out anymore. It's like stressing me out watching everybody just do drugs and just work at clothing stores so they can save
Yeah.
enough money to go to a music festival. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Sorry, how old were you guys when this was happening?
26?
20s.
Working at clothing
25?
stores.
But that's what I mean. There would
Yeah.
be like that's what not that I did that,
Right,
but then
right,
I was
right.
around people who just it didn't seem like anybody had ambition. Like
Oh,
not
okay.
not a hand.
Yeah.
It's just everybody worked
Yeah.
at a clothing store,
Right.
so or DJ'd so they could save money and go to the next music
Right,
festival
right,
and
right,
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
crazy on drugs. So I stopped going, and then now it's not as bad now. But then when I started slowly going out again,
Right.
it just would bring back that like anxiety I had.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I think for me, like I went out a lot. I was like, I've always been very social. I always like gravitated towards groups of people, like and big groups of people. So like when I was in high school, like I was on the debate team, but I was also like effectively like
We're
a cheerleader.
also on the debate team.
Were you
Yeah.
guys on the debate team?
No, with each other.
No, with
Oh,
each other. Yeah.
oh, okay.
We did one last episode.
I was actually on a debate team though, which was
Really?
hilarious.
That's pretty
Like,
cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
it. So, and I played soccer, so I was like friends with the jocks, and I was friends with like the
Yeah, yeah.
cheerleaders, and I was friends with the nerds because I was also an artist, so I was friends with all these like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really just love people, and I always have, and I love like
cool.
different groups. But I think because I met Matt when I was 20. I didn't go through that phase. Like, and I spent my 20s
Right.
with one person, and then we like got married. So it was like I bought a house when I was 24. I was a wife. Like I was like I always had my autonomy. I had a career, and I was always like I didn't lose a lot of my personality through that marriage. But it's certainly not like you're looking to go to music festivals and do a bunch of drugs with people. Like
Right.
you're
Yeah.
building. Like I fucking built a set of stairs. I did all the finishing carpentry on my house at 25. Like I
yeah.
was just doing different things, right?
Right.
And we were both building careers, and so like I was always ambitious, and so was he. So it was like we didn't really have room. And then I left him when I was 31, and then I was like, fuck it. Like I was like, let's do some shit. So I went to
Yeah.
Africa and did some shit.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So mine was like, I'm 25. I just graduated university. I don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
So I just had like 3 years of just partying.
Yeah. No, I just did that in my 30s. Instead.
Yeah.
Like 31 to 34.
Yeah.
Probably I was like,
I'm lucky because I think a lot of people did it for like 7 to 8 years and like a decent amount of time. And I started late and quit early.
Yeah. I never really even hit it hard. Like when you said M, I was like, is that MDMA? Like I don't really like. I never really partied. Like I just sort of. I still like had a career in my 30s, so I had to like maintain that. Yeah. But I definitely had like a period of time where I was like, fuck it. Like I was going out a lot.
How old are you now?
36.
36.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an old lady.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you didn't party that much though, really.
I got out real quick.
Yeah, you did like less than a year.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do this. It stressed me out so much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just felt what I didn't like about it when I was in the middle of it. And it's so funny because I'm still friends with all the guys that we were like we called ourselves like the fuck around crew. Like we were doing just dumb shit all the time, and we spent a ton of money. Like we'd be like snowboarding all the time, and like these guys had money, so we were just burning through cash, and none of us were working. Like it would be like we'd have a week go by where literally you were just hungover and drunk, like every day, and it would be like none of us were doing anything. Like we weren't accomplishing anything. So it was like now we'll sit down. Like I remember last Christmas, and this even more so this year. One of my buddies from that group came to my studio because he was picking up a piece, and he was like brought me like a sandwich and a coffee, and he was like, holy fuck, man. He's like, you're working all the time. I'm like, I know. And he was like, remember when we were just like not working 3 years ago? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, that's so nuts, hey? And I was like, yeah, that was really dumb. Like none of us were productive. We made no money. We spent so much money. Like we were just being idiots.
I don't mind that. Like we did that for a little while.
I
like,
definitely don't regret that 3 years of just
no,
partying.
even before the 3 years, like
great.
we had like a when that was the smaller group.
Yeah, well that was just like regular going out on the weekends. And drinking.
Like it wasn't. It was.
That
just,
wasn't craziness that my life became.
Yeah, I was never like, none of them were really like big, heavy drug users, but I think all of us were drinking way too much.
Yeah, mine was like 3 day benders, so you don't sleep.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I did that once with you guys. It was.
No.
I would do it like every weekend.
I value my days too much.
Really?
Yeah, like intense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And then like you'd spend like $500-$600 on a weekend. I didn't even work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know how I afforded any of this stuff, but it's fine.
Well,
Make it work. Yeah.
Fun facts.
So I had a top 5 that got like 20 Instagram messages. Right. And then you messaged me.
I did.
It's very contentious.
Yeah.
The fruits.
Top 5 fruits. Okay, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your list again?
My list. Well, because it started because I ate an entire pineapple.
Okay, but also Friday. Now that I know that you don't even really give a shit about your hot takes, you're like, hot take, 5 fruits. I was like, I just feel like you picked the last 5 fruits.
No. These are, I believe in them.
Yeah.
I believe in my
like
hot takes.
Our hot takes, we believe them.
I believe my hot takes, but I haven't thought about them very well.
Yeah, like,
but I believe in it.
They're the opinion we have now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like because they got to be a little contentious, so people message me on Instagram. That's why.
Well, I think the singular grape was the one I was mostly curious about. I was like, okay,
which I could trade out. But
but I had to think. Does convenience matter on this? Is this strictly
I'll tell you,
taste?
Yeah, because my friend was criticizing
pineapple
me.
cannot be on that list.
Taste? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
My friend was criticizing me, and I think you have to pick like the best version of the fruit, and that's why I think I made a mistake on grape, because I changed my criteria on grape for some reason. So the first 4, I went like, what's the best version of that?
Right.
And a grape was like, well, it's also really convenient and refreshing, and I just like to eat all the time. So it's kind of like a different metric I use for grape. So that's why I would trade it out with
I'm
mango.
just wondering, like, do I have to open the pomegranate?
Well,
because it's not in my pomegranates are my top 5 for taste.
The criteria.
Okay. No, it's not how hard it is to get into it. It's like what fruit do you like once you're eating?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think you got to pick like the best version of that thing.
Right.
So
that's what I was like.
I'll say my top 5.
Okay, let's hear it.
Mine was pineapple.
Okay.
Watermelon, and this is in order.
I was gonna say, is this in order?
This is in order.
Okay.
Strawberry.
Right.
Cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe.
Mango.
Okay.
I changed grape.
You changed grape
because it wasn't the same criteria. It's like that was more convenience and it's refreshing, and I like grapes, but yeah,
I agree with mango.
Do you agree with the spot, or that it deserves to be on the top 5?
It deserves to be in the top 5.
Okay, where would you put it?
Third.
Green
apples.
Apples.
No.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
That's so basic.
That's like you both are stupid. Green apples number 1.
Apples are okay, but it's like there's no like.
It's also the wrong apple. Like,
yeah, it's also the wrong apple.
No,
it's also the wrong apple.
Absolutely, yes.
Green apples are inferior.
Oh my god.
Oh my god is right. A
green apple 100% is number 1.
I've never eaten a green apple and be like, oh my god, this is good. It's like, this is okay. I can kind of.
I do that every time I buy a green apple.
Go to the farmer's market and be like, listen, farmer, show me your
finest green
apple. I will get a Granny Smith apple.
No, tell them to give you. What do you mean?
No, you don't get to tell me what I asked That's the part.
Because I don't think you've eaten
You know
enough apples.
You know what is
I
really?
eat so many apples.
You know what's really fun
So
about
many
stuff
apples.
like this is it's like so inconsequential, but people get so heated, and that's why I find these
Yeah.
topics really good.
Oh yeah.
Because like so
Let's
many
do this
people
one
got
before
so
we do gender politics.
yeah. But
I mean, we kind of started on gender politics, so let's go back.
but
We're gonna
like
circle
but
back
like
around.
it's really interesting because like I can be so much more aggressive at
Right.
people, and they
Right.
don't mind.
with fruit.
It was
Right,
fruit, 'cause
right,
it's like,
yeah.
It's like inconsequential.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
true.
carry this aggression into whatever we
Yeah,
talk about
yeah,
after
yeah,
the
yeah.
Good.
just so
Yeah,
everybody
do it.
I
We're
like
setting
that.
it up.
Good.
Yeah.
Green apple.
Okay.
Is number one?
Pomegranate. That's number one.
This is
By
fucked.
far.
This is
Like
so
okay,
fucked.
hold on.
Okay,
Green
go.
apple.
You obviously
Space.
No, but you already obviously. Oh, so you're saying like God tier.
Like it's
God
like
tier.
it's its own tier.
God tier. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even
And then,
know
and then
you.
top
Yeah.
tier.
Like, I don't know you.
God
but that's
tier.
shocking.
You
top
don't know
tier.
me.
I don't know you. You're right. So like, that was-
yeah.
In both sense of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I want to know you after this green apple.
apple?
You guys are so
Yeah,
silly.
you clearly like sour though. You
Wow.
clearly like sour.
I do.
Pomegranate's a little
Tart.
sour too.
I would
Okay,
say
this is
tart.
another thing.
Tart.
Okay, go
Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need tart. I need like when I say mango, the mango has to be hard. It
Ugh,
can't be that soft
Jesus.
shit.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
so you
The
like
opposite.
unripe fruit
No.
is what
Yeah,
you like.
yeah.
You
Oh
like
no.
Because
It
you're,
needs to be
you're,
hard.
Again, you're like you're picking the wrong.
This will make
mango.
more sense why you know that I like green apple. It needs to be hard. Like it needs to be that sour.
Yeah.
I don't like the mushy stuff.
Oh, I
Same
love
with
it.
like every fruit that I like is like the grapes got to be hard.
Of course.
Oh, grapes gotta
Yeah.
be hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
Everything's
sweeter
got to be
hard.
hard. Everything's
A
gotta
Grapes
mango
sweeter
can't be
hard.
ripe and hard. Like a mango has to be like.
Well, yeah, I don't want a green.
No. Well,
Yeah, but I
actually
don't
do you
want
like,
it that-
Do you like
Asian
bananas?
food.
A little green.
A little bit.
A little bit, hey.
Yeah,
See,
a
I
little
like them to soften and sit there for a bit and like sweeten.
I'm gonna say something controversial. Bananas can fuck right off. I have no.
Yeah,
interest
no,
in
that's not
bananas.
controversial. I think
Yeah.
bananas are standard. I eat a lot of them because they're just like super easy to eat.
I don't like. I won't even eat them. I won't
No?
even eat them because they're
Bananas
easy to
are
eat.
good.
I don't like them.
They're god.
don't like them at all?
They're in. I would say they're in a god tier if you're going shakes. You need a banana.
Yes, they're great in a shake.
Great
and they're
in a-
good in
yeah.
baking as well. But
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah,
eating
yeah.
a banana, like no, I don't. No.
No.
Okay, pomegranate.
I didn't
Okay,
for a
sorry,
large
pomegranate's
large
nice,
portion
yeah.
of my life.
Pomegranate's so good.
Yeah.
It's just I hate opening that shit.
We hate your things so much that
difficult.
it's taking you so long to get through them.
Yeah.
Green apple.
Where am I?
God tier, pomegranate. So yeah. What
Like,
else?
blueberries.
Is there another space?
Jesus, can I guess
No.
one for you? Can I guess? Can I
Blueberries
put one
aren't
in there for
bad.
you? We've got
You want my
blueberries,
last one?
pomegranates, and green apple,
and mango.
and a
A
green
mango.
mango. So
Not
I
a
feel
green
like
mango, motherfucker. You're not even repeating it back to me right.
a hard mango.
Yeah, hard mango.
Hard mango. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. An unripe mango.
Okay, what are you gonna guess? What's
I
number
feel
5?
like if it's like, I feel like it's gonna be another like obscure, not very sweet berry, like probably like Saskatoon berries or something,
Nope.
or blackberries.
I
No.
guarantee nobody will guess this. one.
Raspberry.
Nope.
No, I don't know.
Plums.
Plums?
That
Yeah.
actually, they're very sour and tart. So like, I'm not. I should have gone there. Or like
Yeah,
a
they gotta
woody,
be hard. They gotta be hard.
What about a woody nectarine? Do you like that? Like a real
A
firm
woody
nectarine.
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 Yeah.
Who is this?
How do you feel about someone if you ate a woody nectarine and then someone took your pit and sucked on it?
Who's the someone?
I don't know.
I mean,
Anyone.
I'm like
You're at a party.
way more liberal with sharing stuff
Yeah,
than
yeah.
I should be.
You're
like,
at a party
always.
and it's a guy you don't really know that well, and he just was like, meh.
I would think it was hilarious.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
would
It's
be
a kind
like,
of a power move, I think.
yeah.
You're just like, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you. That's gangster.
I would think it was. Yeah, I actually would be impressed by that
just took
person.
my pick.
Yeah.
That's
like,
fucking gangster.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, man.
He takes what he wants.
Yeah, I like that guy. Yeah.
That's a good employee right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I do my fruits?
Yeah,
now?
go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Let me just destroy it.
get ready.
Whatever you say.
Okay, I'm prepared. So I really, really like, but like for me, when I think about fruit, I think about traveling and I think about like fruits that's specific to places. So like you're getting them in the country of origin. Like I don't eat passion fruit here, but I love passion fruit when I'm in Maui.
No, but it's got to be like these are the top 5 fruits that you just get to. You don't
That's
get
what
to
I
eat
mean.
any of the fruit.
I
Oh.
get to travel all over the world and eat them in the place that they're from, so they're not getting shipped over here and they're not shitty and woody.
Yeah, 'cause you get the
green or
best version of
underripe.
it.
You
Yeah,
get
you
the best
get
Oh,
version.
right.
of it.
Best
Yeah,
version
So
of it.
passion
Okay,
fruit
passion
would be,
fruit.
I think, my number 1. Fuck you. Okay, they're they're really, really delicious.
Look
I
at
only
you.
eat passion fruit from
You're just
South
melting
Africa.
from passion fruit.
It's not- it's
I gotta
alive.
travel to get it, but yeah, passion fruit's number 1.
Yeah. My
Yeah, I
private
do.
passion fruit plane.
I do. I love it. And then I also weirdly.
I'm a man of the people. I pick fucking normal
You
food
pick
that you can
green
go to fucking
apple.
grocery
Yeah,
store and
the
get.
most- no.
You're like,
It's
well,
too basic though. You got to
Yeah.
go a little bit in between. I think people who go too exotic, it's like, what are you doing?
Well, I'm about to do this for you. So like passion fruit's my
Oh, so
thing.
straight exotic.
Yeah, I
Five
really like
exotic.
passion fruits, and then I really, really like papaya, which like I know a
not
lot
a
of
real
people think
person.
tastes like barf, but I eat it with like lime.
Yeah.
And, like,
no, you
again-
can't
No,
do that.
no, you can't do that. You can't do that.
No,
you can't do that.
It's like my favorite though, but they're together.
No.
So then I put
No, you can't
no,
do
it's
that.
singular.
No, you can't do
It's
that.
not the best version. When you have to put
Yeah.
something else on it.
Yeah. I'll just put sugar on whatever I'm
big-
gonna
big
eat.
X
It's a
just
fucking
came-
lime. I feel like you would like this. It's sour.
No,
and
it's probably
like
good,
tart.
but I'm just
Aaron,
saying.
I'm gonna edit in
it's
a
just
big
gotta be the
X on
fruit.
screen. You go papaya. It's
Yeah. How is that list? This list is not better than my
Yeah.
list.
Okay, well,
Yeah, yeah,
pineapple's
yeah.
in my
Mine's
list
the
too.
man of the people list.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you had. Okay, I don't
You have
think
passion
common.
fruit from another continent. That's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not that one's
Bougie.
Not
That is
passion
bougie
fruit.
as fuck.
Passion fruit's from.
I'm a
And then,
pleb.
and then you try to get a six,
Hawaii.
sneak a sixth
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
by throwing lime on there.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I really like.
I like
ripe-
avocados on toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, they need lemon.
not
in
even
it.
fruit.
It needs to be lemon in the avocado, 100%. Okay, so I would also put pineapple on my list. I love
Yeah,
pineapple,
yeah.
and then
Okay.
I would put like
It's a
ripe,
normal one.
really ripe and soft peaches.
Oh,
That's not
see,
bad.
no, it's gotta be
You don't
hard.
like?
Love it.
No, they gotta be hard.
Oh fuck.
Almost
Well,
like a
that's-
nectarine.
Do you
Yeah,
find it's a
they're
tactileness
unripe.
that you like, or is it because they're a
It's got a
different
texture
flavor?
thing for
I like the
sure.
flavor.
Oh
No,
yeah,
I like
you just
I
find it a
like
little more
the flavor. I like when
sour.
they're
or tart.
soury. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
so
I,
I like clearly if you took my 5, I like really sweet.
I
I
prefer
like soury.
honeydew to cantaloupe, so I'd actually put honeydew, like a
Ooh,
ripe
man,
honeydew.
You're gonna
on my
get some
menu.
hate messages.
Well,
on
I know.
honeydew.
So what?
I actually feel like I have the best list here. Like,
You know
it's
what-
not even like.
You know how many people
I'm
said
sorry.
We're gonna put.
Green apples, hard plums, and a pomegranate is what you.
Yeah.
Okay, South African
Like,
grape or
Yeah, I don't.
fruits or whatever.
So I'll
It's
say
not-
this: I got 20 messages, and I got everyone to give me their top 5
Oh, yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Not a single apple. Not one
Not
apple
a
anywhere.
green apple. I do like apples, and I actually would
That's
put an apple
stupid.
on my list probably because I love
Yeah.
apples.
Because
but
people aren't thinking.
But
They're
apples,
just like,
apples are good and convenient, and so they get like a lot of people eat them. But I'm not sure they're in top 5.
They're my top
they're
5.
really lovely. Like I actually
They're not only top 5. They're my top 1, and then I have 4.
Yeah, you have a whole different apple
Yeah,
category.
I got
for
another
the
category.
worst apple, which is like I don't understand.
Yeah, you're a sour man. I'm a sweet man.
Okay, also I like fresh figs.
Fresh figs, eh? You just say it so quickly, like we wouldn't hear it.
I think that's my fig.
not
I don't
real.
even think
This
I've
is
done
not
it.
a
It
real
was
list.
like honeydew. It's my list.
Fresh
I know.
figs.
I had a friend who put avocado on the top 5, and I
It's a
was like,
fruit. It's a
yeah, but get out of here, avocado.
Yeah, that's an. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not really a fruit. Like you're really
Like I
stretching
said,
it.
I like
my
all
list
fruit.
is for you guys.
No.
This is not a real list.
It's I like all fruits, but like if I'm gonna go, I eat a lot of fruit. So like those are my top. Those
Yeah.
Are my,
It's interesting because of my 5, like I don't really buy that many.
well,
that
because you
often.
can't like
No, 'cause
all,
they're
you like
too
all
annoying.
tropical fruits, so they're not
yeah,
from
they're-
here.
Yeah, they're too annoying too.
You know what's awesome? I can get a green apple whenever
You sure
I
can.
want.
Yeah,
can.
yeah. You can get
I,
a
I,
woody.
I, eat,
awesome.
I eat apples more than I eat any of those, and I eat
Oh,
bananas
yeah.
pretty often. But it's because they're so
You can
easy.
get shitty plums all year round too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I won't.
Yeah, well, it sounds
I don't
like
buy
you will,
shitty
though.
ass
You're-
plums. No,
they're-
they have to be tart.
They're unripe, is what you are the word you're
Unripe,
looking
yeah,
for.
not done.
Yeah, so they can pick them off those
Still
trees.
bacon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like
Okay.
apples like when you go into like a yard and pick them off a tree?
Yeah, I had one.
They're
yeah, because they're
very
quite
tart.
Yeah,
in
they're
Edmonton.
quite
I like
sour. Yeah,
apples.
yeah, crab
I like 'em.
apples.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Like
there's
the worst apple, the most overrated apple to me is Macintosh. I hate Macintosh apples.
You think they're too sweet?
Yeah, I just don't.
I hate gala apples. I think
Gala
they're
apples.
overrated. I think that's like the one
I can
everybody
agree- I
goes
can
for.
I know a lot of people hate Red Delicious, but those are my favorite.
I like
Fuck.
Red Delicious again,
No, that's a,
but they
like,
could
there's
be
something
they could
wrong
be
with you.
really bad.
Yeah.
They
No.
could be really gross.
Red Delicious are like mealy
Pink
and
lady.
garbage.
Lady Pink.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pink, lady Pink. Pink lady.
Pink ladies are nice. Ambrosias are nice, and there's
Yeah.
one called like a golden green. Actually, when you said green apple, I thought
Yeah,
you were going. And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so wonderful. Like
Yeah.
farmers are making great apples all the
Where's
time.
that from?
To be honest, I don't know if
Get it
I've
from
ever
Farmers Market.
gone
I get all my
outside of
apples
my
from Farmers
apple
Market.
zone of Red Delicious. I don't know why. It's just like you get it, and I was like, yeah, that's okay.
If I had
I'm
known
just not
we were
gonna
having
change
this
it.
conversation about apples, I literally would have gone and bought like 6 different kinds of apples.
Right.
To be like,
A
now
blind
you try
taste test?
Because
That would have been fun.
Yeah,
A
because
blind taste test.
I would be able to. I would kill that.
I don't
would
think
kill
you
that
would.
thing. Oh
No, because you only eat green apples. You don't
Yeah,
know
that's
anything
not
about
true.
apples.
No.
Do you eat all other
I'll
kinds?
I eat other kinds. Other kinds.
What's your
My
favorite
favorite
red
fruit's a
apple?
Like
Canned pear.
let's do a top 5 apple list now.
I only have Red Delicious.
No.
Okay, well, I can make a top 5 apple list.
I can
but
make a
don't
top
have
5.
to- Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
apples.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, if you
I'm
can't.
basic
do it, we'll
apple
do it.
man.
It's like a
Next time you come on, we'll do it.
okay.
Yeah. I'll have to do some apple research.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even
telling
do
you.
it. I'll do it for you. I'll just bring the apples. And then
Okay.
if you like
Oh
them,
yeah, and then I
Yeah,
should
you're just gonna have to
blind.
travel around the world
Yeah,
to find all these.
yeah, I'm
things.
gonna take a quick trip
Yeah,
around
yeah.
the world to get the
yeah, I got a
apples.
little lime on this
Great.
one.
Yeah, well, fuck
Yeah,
you. Because it is really delicious.
I mean,
so
yeah, apples would
Yeah.
be my top 5 if they're in a pie, I guess, for you. But
No, that's not, I don't like apple. I don't even like pie.
You don't like pie?
No.
Oh.
don't.
oh
I'm a salt person.
I'm with you. I only like. There's only 2 types of pie. I hate apple pie.
Really? I like apple
hate
pie.
Apple pie.
Because it's
I
soft
like the
fruit. You don't
rhubarb.
like soft fruit.
Yeah.
And rhubarb's tart, so of course you like it.
I like rhubarb.
Yeah. So now I do know you now.
Yeah.
What's
I
the-
like pumpkin pie.
That's
There was a good
gross.
quote where it's like nobody likes pumpkin pie. They just look all the random shit you throw in pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Friendship's over.
We're done. It was.
Why is
quick
it?
and
You know,
I'm
why
done.
is it even pumpkin pie? Can it be anything if they're just throwing other shit in
Yeah,
it?
you can make it out of literally sweet potato pie is the same fucking
Sweet potato.
shit.
That
It's
sounds horrible. That's my least
same
favorite
stuff.
food.
Sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato.
I
Hate
mean,
it.
they're
like
fine.
sweet potatoes. You
Hate
like
it.
sweet potatoes?
I'll eat them. Like I know they're they're fine, but I think they're in
But
like
they're sweet. It's weird you don't like them.
Yeah, I
Well,
think they're too sweet.
It is weird because I don't dislike the flavor, but I just can't eat them. They'll make me gag.
Oh.
It's
Is
just like
it a
my brain's
texture
like,
thing?
what the hell's going on?
I like 'em.
No, because I like potatoes.
Oh, I love potatoes. Like a
Yeah, I
humble
think it's just like my
potato.
mind wants like salty, and it's just sweet,
the
and it's like,
thing.
what the hell's going on?
Oh, I
So,
really like.
I don't like
I'm not
it.
a sweet person. I'm a salty person.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like in a major way. I prefer salt to sweet. So
Yeah.
I don't really like pie or like cake or like I don't have like any.
I like both.
I don't like cake.
exactly
Yeah. I
equally.
don't like cake.
You like salt and sweet
Equally.
okay. No,
Equally.
I'm like a
My favorite
salt
ice cream
person.
is caramel, salted caramel.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't like ice cream though because it's too sweet.
I don't like milk. It makes me feel sick.
But you could eat sweet ice cream.
Yeah, I'll feel sick, but I'll eat it.
Okay.
You just gotta
Are you
power through
lactose
it.
intolerant or are you like?
Yeah.
Sure, self-diagnosed.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a good quote that people who diagnose themselves with mental disorders,
Mm-hmm.
it's like reading horoscopes.
Mm-hmm.
You're always gonna find what you think.
Yeah,
you have.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
for sure.
Anxiety is like a millennial pandemic. Like everybody's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I have a mental.
Oh man,
illness.
you
Yeah,
should have
yeah,
heard our
we-
rant on
Yeah,
mental.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
mental
a hot
health.
take. Hot
Yeah.
take.
We had a good hot take on it.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
was Amadeo part of this one?
No.
No, this was just us, I think.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
high five because we really agree.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I didn't think we would on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm like, I don't know if I want to. I just feel like there's people. I'm for sure somebody's
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah,
I mean, we started talking about fucking a dead conjoined twin. So like, I think it's already we've
Yeah,
thrown
yeah.
the baby.
Those
out the
people have
bathwater.
already exited.
Yeah, they've already left.
Yeah.
No, but like mental illness, I think is it's a huge topic du jour right now. But like, I actually come from a family that's like riddled
Yeah, yeah.
with extreme mental illness, like
Yeah.
suicide, fucking
Yeah, yeah.
rampant, like schizophrenia.
Right,
Like I'm not
right,
talking
right.
about like anxiety. Like I'm talking about like institutionalized schizophrenics in my family. So it's like
Yeah, we were just
nothing
talking about how like it seems to be like unproductive to just keep dwelling on it.
Yeah.
With people who like get on the internet and, like
Yeah.
Well, because it's part
I'm
of your
suffering,
identity,
just- Yeah,
right?
yeah,
so it's like
just
it's like kind of like
It can
you almost hold
become
on to it a little
a
bit.
prison, I would
Yeah.
say for sure.
Yeah.
And like, but I'm not. That's not to say that it's not valid. Like I don't.
Well, it's 100%
understand, I
valid
don't
because I've
suffer.
had
because
like
it's real to them.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they're making it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there's also people who probably are on the cusp or don't have it at all, who are really buying into their own.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
Probably.
anxiety, that's, like anxiety is prevalent. Like we live in anxious times. Like it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
difficult
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
do.
like I my deal with anxiety was when I
So
was
do I.
20. I was in Greece and I had a panic attack that I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And then I just dealt with panic attacks for like 2 years.
Do you know what triggered your panic attack?
Yeah, I was just drinking too much, I think. And
Really?
then I got a shock in the back of my neck and my whole body went numb. And then I went to the Greek doctor and I was like, explain what happened, and he's like, yeah, it might be meningitis.
Agreed. Oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
This is
I look it up and it's like,
anxiety, way
yeah,
worse.
yeah. It's like, and I look it up, it's like 50% mortality rate, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like, and I was convinced, and I was like,
Yeah.
there's a scene
You're
in
just
this-
checking your rigidity, and you're like worried that
yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Donnie Darko?
Yeah, of course.
Mm.
Yeah, and there's a scene where like his dog, he's talking to his therapist, and his dog, he says, Callie, I think is the name of his dog. I can't believe I remember that. But
Yeah, like
he says
yeah.
he's talking to his therapist, and he said he knew he was gonna die, so he went under the stoop
Okay.
to die.
Right. Yes.
And then it was in my head, and I kept thinking about that animals know when they die. They
Yeah,
know
they
when,
do.
they know they're gonna
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
They know, so they hide it. And I know I'm
Yeah.
gonna die.
Yeah.
So it must mean I'm gonna die. And I just like circular, and I couldn't get out of
And
it.
then you had the panic attack after the Greek doctor, or this was prior to going to the doctor? You had your
Constantly
panic
for like
attack?
3 days
wow,
until
okay.
I got onto a plane
Oh,
and
that's
went
rough.
home, and then just like
Yeah.
still panic attacks, and then I remember going to school, back to school that semester, and I would just like get these like numbing sensations, like I was gonna pass out, and
Yeah.
like
And
just no idea.
Your limbs go numb, so you can't feel your
Yeah,
hands and stuff. So
yeah.
you think you're
And you have
having,
no
like-
idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And then like I got CAT scans and all stuff. And I was
Wow.
100% convinced I was dying.
Really?
And
Like
I,
it was
I still have
legitimate.
that. I still have that. It's in the back
I
of my
think
mind.
everybody has that. I have that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
But I still have it. Like I was telling Tyler, I think like 20% right now that I have throat cancer.
right.
Like 20% level.
Yeah.
Like I think about it all the time.
Like a actually not low level, fairly high level.
Very high. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'm convinced, and it's in my mind, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it all the time. But like it's been 12 years. So like
Right.
I know what it is.
Right.
And it travels through my body.
Right.
Like it's been everywhere. You know?
This like thing that you think's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like, oh, I'm having stomach issues for like 2 years, and then I'm having lung
Have you
issues.
ever like? Do you have any diseases or anything? Like, do you have to take medication for anything? If it's surgery or anything like that? Or anything? So I have two diseases that I live with, and I've had surgery for the one, and then I take medication daily every 8 hours actually for the other one. So
Were you just thinking of what time it was?
yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't
Yeah.
take my pill.
Yeah.
But like they're not. It's like So I have that a little bit because I've had like lots of surgeries and
Yeah.
stuff, and so like every time I'm in the hospital, I have like this like insane fear that when they put me under, that's like my last time I'm gonna die. When they like the anesthetic is gonna kill me. So like, and then I'm kind of the same way. Like I think a little bit, but I have so many doctors in my family. Like one of my sisters is a doctor.
Yeah.
So she loves it that I get to just call her constantly with my like concerns about my health. Like
I would love to have a doctor in my family.
Yeah, I love it. But like
so nice.
she's like, you are fucking nuts. Like stop it.
Like once a year,
fine.
I'll get something checked. Like I'll get convinced and I have to go get it checked. Like a year ago, which is weird. I got a throat X-ray.
Yeah.
And like all this tests done, and then I got under because they put a throat thing down my throat.
Yeah.
To check everything.
Yeah.
Because I was just convinced, and it's not gone.
Yeah.
Usually they check something, and then after my anxiety goes away and it moves. Right.
Do you want to know something crazy though? Like I get stuff that I'm like kind of low level, like that 20%, like something's kind of wrong.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe.
yeah.
I was with my gynecologist. One of the things I have is endometriosis. I have like the worst kind, like stage 4 endometriosis. So I've had surgery on it, and it's like it's so fucking shitty. And a lot of people don't know how it works as a disease, but like basically endometrial tissue like migrates out of your uterus and then like attaches itself to your organs, and then it like expands and sheds hormonally. So you end up having open wounds in your insides, and so it creates like a whole bunch of scar tissue, but also it binds your organs together. So that's where the pain comes in. Like it's so fucking painful. Like I have like literally, I'm a very tough chick. Like I've broken tons of bones. Like and I don't even go in. Like I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's not broken. And like my fingers are like fucked and like it's clearly broken. But like like we come from tough stock, the Ross girls. And I like peed my pants. Like it knocks me out. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm vomiting. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Crazy.
a 12 out of 10. It's like a shocking level of pain. Like I've actually thought like I've been triaged at the ER. I'm like, just fucking kill me. Like I don't want to do this. Like it's so fucking painful.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Oh, it's brutal. So I was, anyways, so that's the one disease. So they're not going to kill me, but they're just, so I was in with my surgeon.
It's not going to kill you, so it's not
It won't kill me. No, it can, like randomly, like it can collapse the lung or go to your brain.
You could have like
and cause,
internal
like,
infections or something like that,
yeah,
right?
a lot of them, like I'm lucky, like we've got it pretty good, like pretty under control. So like it's not like people will have their bowels impacted and stuff because the scar tissue gets really bad. So it builds up and it just affects the way your body functions. But like it's not necessarily, it's not considered a deadly disease. The other ones are just chronic migraines. But my migraines are like seizures.
Yeah, I've seen you post about it a few times.
Yeah, so like those are the two diseases. So they're not like in the grand scheme of things, I'm very lucky. Like it's just, you know.
Right.
But anyways, like so I'm sitting in the doctor's office and I was like, it had just been shitty. Like I had a surgery, I was uncomfortable. Then there was complications after my surgery for endometriosis. I had to have a second surgery for like my bladder. It was a whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with like a doctor, 2 surgeons, another doctor, and I was like, I haven't had a PAP in a long time. And my doctor was like, why are you even thinking about that right now? I was like, I don't know, but I think I should get a PAP. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that for you right now. And I was like, no, like I want you to do it right now. And he was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I was like, I need to do a fucking PAP right now. And he was like, like you've never had an irregular PAP. Like, why are you? And I was like, I don't know, but I just need you to do it because I feel weird and I just want you to do it. And he was like, fuck, fine. And it was right before Christmas. And so they did. And then I got a call from the hospital and they were like, hey, so we need you to come in again. And I was like, and I just thought it was about the surgeries. I was like, why? What's going on? And they're like, no, like today, like we need to see you today. Like it's an emergent like, situation. And I was like, what is that? What for what? And they were like, there's like a whole bunch of like basically cancer all over the whole surface of your cervix. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was like, that was where I was like, I knew something. Like, I was like, I need to go, like, and I had to like have immediate surgery. And I'm fine. It was like they removed all of it, but
I don't know what
was
this
like,
is going to do to me mentally.
Yeah, I don't know. But just like it was the loudest voice I've ever had in my head. Be like, I'm not leaving this room until somebody does a PAP. Like I don't, which is like a weird.
I actually didn't know what a pap smear does.
Well, that's what it does.
Did you, Tyler?
Huh?
Did you know? Do you know what it does?
No, not really.
Why
So
they
they collect cells off your cervix because it's like cervical cancer, much like testicular cancer, is a common cancer in women, but it's a very slow moving cancer.
Yeah.
So like literally, if you don't get a PAP, you can develop it, but it takes like 10 years to kill you.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a cancer that is obviously cancer is deadly, but it's very slow moving. So like if they catch it early enough, which they did for me, and they remove all the tissue, you're fine generally.
Do you know what the survival rates are for 5 years?
No, I don't. But I have to get them more often now than other women.
So we had a good would you rather.
Oh, really? What's that?
It was, would you rather get testicular cancer or HIV?
Oh, because HIV.
Because both are not really going to kill you.
Not anymore. No.
Right? Neither are.
It's the same thing
like
with cervical cancer.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would take cancer over HIV.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, probably because of the stigma, which is
I
shitty.
think stigma, right?
Yeah,
Stigma
I
is
don't
it.
even like saying
because you have
that,
to you take the risk that it'll solve itself,
then,
or else you have something for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a stigma still. Like it would be a weird. I wouldn't like to have that conversation with all my sexual.
I don't know if there's much of a stigma, like in general, like societally, But there is a stigma
about HIV.
Yeah, but I think there's a stigma for sexual partners, and you'd have to go through this process of explaining everything.
Right, that'd be weird.
I think there is a stigma still,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's necessarily warranted, but I think there is, and I think there's like a reverse stigma with cancer. Like you're like
Right.
a victim, and people like celebrate you.
Right.
They're like,
You're a little bit of a hero that you survived.
Kind
right?
of,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like people
yeah.
are like, oh, you poor, like you get a lot more sympathy, and like HIV
Yeah.
people are like, well, you fucked somebody that was dirty, so it's your own fault, and you're like, what? Like everybody,
Yeah,
it's an
yeah.
insane way to think, but that's like
Yeah.
where the stigma comes from.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I think I'd still take HIV though,
Would you over testicular cancer?
Yeah, what was your
Yeah.
reasoning?
because I have 0 things in common with Magic Johnson. This would give me one. I'll take that.
I thought you're not a Lakers fan.
I'm not, but
Yeah,
give me one
yeah.
thing in common with Magic Johnson. I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
super
you just,
weird.
you just
That's
rep
not
it
right.
hard,
Yeah.
hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, you start wearing Lakers jerseys and stuff.
Like Magic.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I know what you're going through.
Me both. Yeah,
Me
it's
and you,
been
bud.
tough. It's been tough for both of
Yeah.
us, hey, buddy?
Yeah.
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 Any hot takes?
I don't have any other hot takes, actually. That was it.
It was just a fruit one?
I had some questions, though.
Okay.
I had some list of stuff. Because I have an art-related question
Oh, yeah. Great.
that I had for somebody else.
'Kay.
But they're never coming.
Okay.
Who is
So,
it?
I'm going to say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair
I'll tell you off air.
enough. Okay.
But,
I feel like I should have done lots of this off air, but anyways, let's go. Let's hear the question.
oh, that's showbiz, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you ever look past someone's personality and enjoy their art?
Oh, I was just
this
talking
is
about
the-
this
yeah,
actually.
Yeah, this is like the whole.
I was just talking about this at work.
Were you?
We were listening to Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Michael Jackson, I don't know.
Well, something went on. I don't know if I believe the documentary.
There was a
but-
really good.
But as soon as fucking
Broad
Billie
City
Jean came on,
episode
I
where
was
they
like,
go back and
Oh no,
they-
I have seen all Broad City. Though.
Oh, not
I love
Broad
it.
City.
like
the,
whatever.
The Bong one. The time traveling Bong, where they go back and they
Oh, I
take
never
Michael
seen it.
Jackson from
Yeah.
his dad.
haven't
It's
seen
the
it.
same chick from Broad City.
There's,
Anyways.
there's a really good joke though about Michael Jackson. Why he didn't do it
What
or do
is it?
anything, and it was like
Who
it was
did-
like
who said this joke?
I can't remember who it was.
I feel like
Maybe
he's making me sweat before I even say it.
yeah,
Oh,
but it was like because Macaulay Culkin came out and said he didn't do anything. He stayed at his house many times and there was never anything.
Oh, I
that
think
guy
I know
seems
what
like
joke.
a guy you want to trust.
And it was like
saying.
you
I
know how
think I
hot
know
that
it.
kid was as a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody wanted to fuck him.
Yeah, yeah. I heard this
if
joke.
anybody
said
did
that
it,
joke?
yeah. And
Yeah.
you know how hard it is to catch that kid too.
That's true. Yeah, that's, that's a good part of the second joke.
There's
yeah.
a good.
That
there's a
might
good
have been
joke.
Chappelle.
I destroyed it. It might have been Chappelle actually.
Yeah, yeah, it might have been
He
Chappelle.
aged badly.
You think like personality wise?
Macaulay Culkin?
Oh, Macaulay
Oh,
Culkin,
yeah,
Chappelle.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he could,
Yeah,
just to, like,
yeah.
circle back
He
that
does-
joke.
But he
did.
was like big on drugs, right? Like,
I
didn't he get all
don't
fucked up?
know.
See, I think
he was.
I think that's what the rumor is, but it's never came out. And
I
he
thought
was
he talked about it on Joe
I
Rogan's
have no
podcast.
idea.
I think he did.
maybe he did. I don't know.
I thought he did. I
But
could be wrong.
I
But
do
go
want
ahead.
to answer this question.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a very telling question. So like, is your craft separate from you as a human being? And
Yeah.
do you have to be
Yeah.
held accountable for your moral sins if you make work that is
Yeah.
excellent or exceptional or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Like, does your exceptional talent
yeah.
excuse
Supersede.
your like fucking horrific moral
Yeah,
compass?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Right.
and like I have an issue with it, and I don't think you can untether them and completely. And like one of the ones that was hard for me recently was like Ryan Adams. I don't know if you know.
The
No, I didn't know
musician?
anything, but it.
Yeah,
I never heard about
I
this
saw
thing.
him live. It was awful.
Yeah, so I've always I like Ryan Adams. I
Yeah.
like singer-songwriters. I'm not like a crazy huge fan of his, but I know he's done some production too on bands that I do like. So like he's
Right.
he's a pretty well-seasoned musician.
Yeah.
Right.
But it came out of the closet, or it came out in media, that he was basically like sexually inappropriate with a bunch of like really young women, like really young women, and then was like not only sexually inappropriate but like aggressive, and he got like just like stupid, gross, like classic misogynistic behavior. Like
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, "Oh, you don't want to suck my dick? I'll fucking ruin your career, you piece of shit." And they're like 12, and it's
Oh.
like, listen, you fuck. Like a 12-year-old
12.
girl's got
12.
like 12 to 14. Like they
Wow,
were very
yeah,
young.
Oh, really young?
Yeah, and like he was grooming women that he found on like YouTube that were doing those like YouTube videos and stuff, and like that just made it's just so insidious to
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
like that type of behavior, because it's just so fucking predatory, and it's like you are in a position of authority and power and fucking whatever. You could do whatever you want. You can fuck whoever you want. Fuck adults. Like why are you fucking with
There's something
12-year-old
more
minds? Like,
nefarious because he can fuck adults.
it's so nefarious. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you're a
yeah.
goddamn celebrity. What
Okay,
are
but
you doing?
Yeah.
does
He's
it
very
matter
spec-
to you what the action is?
It does, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like maybe
Like
that's
do
not
you-
right, but like it kind of does. Like I, like
So you'll never listen to a song again?
I have a really hard time listening to his music.
So
now.
yeah,
And,
so
like,
that's the other
Roman
question because of course you can't. I don't
Polanski.
think you can differentiate the artist and what he makes, but can you enjoy it after?
Can I consume
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
That's
can
the
you
thing,
consume
like,
it after is a question, I
critically
think.
say and like remove myself and say like, yes, you still make good music.
Yeah.
You know, and so does Woody Allen makes good films.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
and
That's who I was thinking of for the question.
Oh, of course,
I
yeah.
love Woody
Roman
Allen.
Polanski,
I've
Woody
seen,
Allen. There's,
I've
like-
seen like he's made like 56
Yeah.
films. I've seen
Yeah.
every single one.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
a fucking weirdo in his
Yeah,
personal
yeah,
life,
yeah.
and so
Yeah.
it's like Gauguin. Like I don't know how much you guys know about art history, but Gauguin literally did like I forget what it's called. He went to Tahiti and painted like 12-year-olds,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he like made paintings that were called like The Rape.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not fucking kidding.
Yeah.
Of like young girls, and he's a
Right.
celebrated like Gauguin is in the canon.
Like, he raped them?
Yes, he went and
Oh,
fucked
oh.
12-year-olds in Tahiti, like
Oh,
because
crazy.
he was a gross old
Yeah,
privileged
yeah,
white
yeah.
man who was just like, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. These people are like marginalized in every way, shape, and form. Like he just was like, look at the luscious, like pendulous,
Yeah.
swollen nipples of this child, and you're like, what the fuck, man? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's so gross. Like it's just gross.
Well,
'cause it's
do
predatory.
you still watch Woody Allen movies?
No.
Because I still do. I
Yeah,
still will.
and I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but I, you know, everything is. These conversations are hard.
Yeah.
Because like I can value like their.
My thought is like, what did
capacity.
I do? What did I do?
Well,
I wanna
that actually was what I was kind of thinking was like, to your point, like when we're talking about it, it's easier to be mad about it and
Yeah.
be like, I wouldn't do this. But then like, if you were like driving and like your favorite Ryan Adams song came on,
Yeah.
would you shut it off?
Probably not.
That's what I mean.
And
Like,
I
yeah,
did
like-
after like so.
It's
the
easy to,
news,
like, talk-
You
yeah,
get we get acclimatized to everything, or you whatever
Right.
you
Yeah.
get like what's the word I'm looking for? Like where
I
you
think acclimatized. Yeah.
no, there's like a different one though, but
Used to it.
Yeah, used to it. Yeah. So you know when
That's
I
my
first heard
verbiage.
it, I was like upset and I was like grossed out and I was like Jesus Christ. And I know
Yeah.
like my sister and I really like him, so I was talking to her. Desensitized. So you get desensitized to
got
it,
it.
and like you hear all this shit, and then like and when all that stuff was happening in the comedian world, like all those male comedians getting called out for stuff like
Was there comedians? What comedians?
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. The masturbating thing.
Contentious issue. But is there more than this?
oh, there's tons. He publicly apologized, so like.
Well, I mean, contentious is contentious of like what he got.
It's
like
a sliding scale.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
it was weird to be put him in the same category as many
Like
other
Harvey
people.
Weinstein.
Hey man,
Yeah.
this is also going to be an unpopular opinion. Like
sure.
I have been like when that whole Me Too movement stuff started, people
Right.
were like, I think surprised to hear me. I don't jump on bandwagons, and
Yeah.
I don't use social media as a political platform
Yeah.
generally ever. I just think these
Yeah.
conversations are better had in person. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to use those to like it's just you never get the point across
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
But I did make a post because I saw a lot of other women doing it, and I thought it was important for a lot of like I have a ton of guy friends. I've got a ton of female friends as well. I'm not a person who's like I only have dude friends, but like I probably have I have a ton of guy friends that I'm very good friends with, and they're always like, oh well, ERs and did like you're like a dude, and I'm like, well, I kind of am, but like I'm not, you know. So
Right.
I said like just so you guys know, like Me Too, like this is fucking like I worked in service.
Yeah.
It was inappropriate constantly. I've actually been assaulted to the point where the person's in prison now, and I'm fine. Like it really wasn't like I wasn't raped, I wasn't penetrated, like it wasn't like, but it was a I don't know if I should. I believe I can say that there's a sliding scale. I didn't have any like there wasn't any emotional ramifications from it. Like it had to
Right.
happen. I had to call the cops. Like he was a
Yeah.
homeless person that followed me to my studio basically and like grabbed me, like put his hands like
Yeah.
up my skirt and like
Yeah, I
tried
mean
to-
that's.
yeah. It shouldn't have happened.
There's
and
definitely
then-
a scale. I think what
Yeah.
people were at least what I think people were getting upset with the Me Too thing was people weren't recognizing the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not only that, there was almost zero due process for anyone.
Yeah, like it was just like as
it was
soon
like
as you
if
hashtag Me
had
Too, you were in
any
trouble.
any type of complaint, your career was ruined and you were fired.
Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that I mean that's
Yeah.
that's a court of public opinion, right? And like
Yeah.
there's I mean it's important and it's been significant for certain things and it's shone light on stuff that needs to be talked about. But then we have to have these conversations with like a certain level of like
right.
accepting other people's ignorance. Like that's the one thing. Like I'm pretty passionate about a lot of stuff. I sit in a lot of community boards. Like I talk about that a lot because
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for my resume. I do it because I just believe in the shit I do. But
Yeah.
so we
Should
have
have
these
plugged your website right after that.
but you know we have these conversations a lot. Like
Yeah.
like what is like what warrants like what's a real bad crime and it's
Yeah,
like well,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know fucking they're crime like
Yeah.
it doesn't really it's not for us to say but like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it is important to have these conversations and not like beat people over the head with stuff like allow ignorance like when it comes to like
Yeah.
conversations around gender stuff conversations around sex and sexuality
Yeah, yeah.
conversations around anybody who's
That's
in a
that's a really
marginalized
good
group.
point that we brought up. Allow ignorance. Ignorance is okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not
Ignorance
a dirty
is
word.
you're not a bad person to be ignorant.
No,
at
you're
all.
not.
No.
Discourse is encouraged
Yeah,
by
yeah,
ignorance,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to be able to feel comfortable enough
Yeah.
to say, like, I actually
Yeah.
don't know how to refer to you. Like, you know, the Indigenous rights, like the
Yeah,
group
yeah.
I'm the vice president of, the board I've been on. I mean, we're a charitable organization. We've been around for like fucking 25 years now, I think, but I've been the vice president for years now, but on the board for 13 years. And like our demographic is largely Indigenous people. And so like, we have these conversations all the time. Like we don't want to overstep. Like we're trying to, but, and it's like, we have to be able to sit in a room with people and say like, what do you want? Like what makes you feel comfortable? I don't know. Like I'm not sure, like, I'm not going to make any assumptions. So you fucking tell me, like, I'm not. Why are we saying we came from treaty territory? Like, what does that mean to you? Can you explain it to me? Like, can we start to like, dig into these things and not have it be like everybody's upset or like the Me
that's
Too
the problem,
stuff?
right?
Like,
well, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah,
you should be able to say to somebody, I don't really understand, and then I'm going to say, okay, this is why it's really an important issue, and then be like, I'm not mad at you. And that's the whole thing. Like all of this stuff boils down to the fact that like equality is all everybody's looking for. We're all looking to fucking tee off from the same tee box.
Yeah.
Right? To borrow something.
Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah.
Like, so it's not taking anything away from anybody else. Like this whole feminist sort of research, like not research. Well, it's like a movement right now because it's fucking important. It's stupid. It's stupid that there's any kind of divisions around like our mental capacity. It has nothing to do with our gender. Like the only thing that is really that different is physical capacity. Like you guys can be stronger than women.
Which is also like a big movement to deny that lately.
Yeah, but that's
which is interesting.
I think that's ridiculous, and I think that it's another thing that takes much like throwing Louis C.K. under the same bus as somebody who like
it takes away from the actual
women. Like it's like you masturbated and something.
Yeah.
You did violate somebody.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I definitely agree he did something wrong.
But he fucking owned it and he apologized, and that is different than a violent, forcible, penetrative rape. Like it's different.
Do you think he did something wrong?
Yeah. Well, okay. This is like my take on it. Like,
because I actually should have asked Amadeo that because he said he did not think he did anything wrong.
Well, no, I think
Amadeo, but shout out Amadeo, he's watching.
I think the one thing I think the only thing he did wrong was he was ignorant of the fact of like who he had maybe in front of him would be too uncomfortable to say no.
But wait a second. Have you ever in your life been in a situation in a room of people where you're like, you know what I'm gonna do right now? Just fucking pull my dick out and masturbate.
That's not what he did though.
Here's because he asked.
He would ask, but if they said no, he never did it.
But
so like if you had that weird, like it's weird and it's.
So it's a kink of his.
It was a weird kink. He would ask them.
Yeah, so you ask,
and if they said yes, he would do it.
And if they said no, he wouldn't.
But okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, so I was going to say.
What you probably were going to say is that the very fact of asking.
Yes.
Is uncomfortable and offensive
especially
itself.
when you're in a position of power over these women. Like
the one thing I was gonna say is it was an ignorant thing to do because there's gonna be women who probably were too uncomfortable to say no. Right? Of course. That's what I said he would do wrong. I don't think he did wrong because he masturbated. Yeah, it's a weird kink, and if that's what you're into, how else do you get it if you don't ask?
I don't give a fuck. Like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you can masturbate in a public room of people that all are getting off on the same kink. I don't give a fuck. But like the conversation fundamentally is about power struggles, and
sure,
like that's a huge issue. So
right. But I think there's a difference in like Harvey Weinstein seemed to utilize it. I don't think Louis C.K. was utilizing it. I think he had a weird kink. And what else was he going to do? If he wanted to do it, he had to ask. Yeah. He
just wanted to ask. Sarah Silverman.
There's a difference in you knowing.
She was like, he asked me all the time. Sometimes I said yes, sometimes I said no.
Yeah. So
that's what he did.
There's a difference
knew that.
in you knowing you're using your power to overtop something.
I think his apology was sufficient, and I still consume his content. Like I don't think, I wasn't like he's a fuck. Like I was like, like that's weird and that was inappropriate. But like I think he hit the right tone with his apology. I think he was like a trendsetter in that situation. Like he was like, listen, man, you're right. That was fucked, and I shouldn't have done that.
He went to therapy for it too.
Yes, he did
for quite a while and quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like maybe like 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
But he did a second thing that was wrong.
What's that?
Was that he denied it vehemently.
Yes.
Through his lawyers and threatened the women.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's a power dynamic thing. So he was a guy who believed, like, you can't tell me that guy didn't believe that nobody in that room was as good or better than him, and that's why he pulled his dick out.
I don't know because
I don't know if
I think that's what it is. I think it's a power. Like you.
I think if you're a big listener of Louis, I don't think that's the way he thought. I think the way he thought was like very denigrating, and especially at the time, he was not very famous at the time.
Yeah,
he only became famous in like 2000.
It was like an old.
I think 2000, like 12, 2013.
Yeah.
Like he was late, and when he decided to like start throwing out all his material and start doing new material every year. So he was like working on like the what's that show? Something Harvey or I don't know. It was like a sketch show or something.
I
can't
remember what it's called, but
not a good show. That was after on Home Improvement. Whoops.
Oh,
a shitty show, but like he wasn't that famous, and I don't know if he had that much power. But I think it is like a not necessarily like a professional power. It's I'm making you uncomfortable a little bit, and I kind of like that.
Well, that's what people, and like that's why people in positions of power, like bosses, professors, like that's there's a long-standing tradition of people in those roles, priests for fuck's sake, like doing things that they, and that's, I mean, I think whether it's conscious or subconscious, I do think that's part of it. Like in your brain, you think that's what priests believe. Like I'm sure you guys understand that. The Catholic Church's stance on like pedophilia within priests is that they're better than regular people. Like they're closer to God, so they're they are allowed to do basically whatever the fuck they want.
Oh, I see.
Priests.
Yeah.
So, but if they act in pedophilic manners, like it's not. Anyways, it's like it's a belief that they're better than regular human beings like you and I.
Anyway,
So like it's like, well, fuck, sorry that we fucked you, but like you know you're not really like we're important. Like
we'll
just
move them somewhere in the city.
Yeah, like sorry that you're hurt, but like that doesn't really matter. Like it was it's just a belief that they're better than people.
Yeah.
So
it is interesting though that you said that you believe this is apology, because I think that was another issue with Me Too. Yeah. Is that what's the path to redemption for some people?
Yeah.
Right. And that's, I think a lot of people don't have the answers to that. Yeah. Which is I think an issue, because it's not that they don't have an answer. I think it's never for a lot of people.
Well, I think it depends on the crime, but like I honestly am a true believer.
Well, yeah, it depends on the crime for sure.
Like, truth and reconciliation, man. Like authenticity. Like you got to strip yourself bare and be fucking honest, especially if you get caught in something gross. Like you just, and it's the hardest thing to do because we all got egos, but you got to take it in the fucking teeth and be like, you know what, I did do that.
You know what's interesting that I just thought of is that, so I believe generally the prisons there should be rehabilitation.
Yeah, they are.
Not revenge. Well, a lot of times they're revenge based, not based
because of the free will.
Prisons.
Yeah. Like American prison systems or like
any.
Okay.
The goal
should be based on revenge. It should be to
rehabilitate and get them back in society. Right? That should be the actual goal.
Yeah.
But generally they're not.
No, they're not.
But what's interesting is it's a very leftist idea that they should be rehabilitated. A problem with the word. But I think it's generally like a left idea where the right generally thinks of revenge. They should be punished.
Well, it's also like, I mean, the reason I asked about the American system versus the Canadian one is that it's commodified.
It's privatized. Yeah.
Makes it
tough. But the reason I thought it was interesting is because Me Too is a very leftist movement,
right?
Which feels very revenge based.
You know what's interesting is like from my perspective on it was that it was never revenge based.
Right.
And so like that's what really bothered me is that it got so embroiled in like garbage, like it got so weighted down by other people's shit, and then there's a bunch of guys being like, well, I've been assaulted too, and it's like man, that sucks. Like nobody's saying that you don't have a right to talk about your shit as well, but like what we're talking about is like I don't even think you have the, like, I don't know a single woman in my life, not one, who has not been sexually harassed or assaulted or raped.
Right.
Like, and this is not small things. Like these are like, and just to say like, you know, I know that I'm the chick that like my guy friends think is cool, and I've got like a good sense of humor, and I've got like a pretty bubbly personality, and I'm a pretty tough chick. So people are like, oh, but like that doesn't bother a girl like you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but it fucking does. Like it's still inappropriate. Like don't like, and it happens to girls like me too. Like it happened to girls like me too. Like it happens to your fucking mom, your sisters, the people you love, the women in your life who like you don't feel like there's any kind of weird gender dynamic. Like we're all on the same fucking equal playing field. It just happens to us because we're more vulnerable and we're weaker than which sucks. Yeah. Physically weaker, not mentally weaker. But there's a physical disadvantage. So it's like we end up in these situations that we're then blamed for and shamed over, and it's horseshit. And it's fucking, it has to stop now, and it has to be. I was all about men holding other men accountable. So saying like to my guy friends who I know love me and my ex-partners who I also know love me. Like I'm not with them anymore, but we loved each other. So it's like, fucking stand up for me, man. Like be an ally here. Like be like, that's not cool. Like that makes me sick to my stomach. Like it makes me want to fucking barf that my sisters have been exposed to that shit. The girls I love that, you know, have had worse experiences than I've had.
Yeah. I think if you think of Me Too, there's a net positive. And I would say even as a man, reconsidering what I've done in the past. Yeah. Or like evaluating it and then changing it in my future too.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And that's inherently for sure just 100% a positive.
Yeah.
Because men are now just they're not going to get away with everything.
Yeah.
Or if they were getting away with something before in the past.
That's the thing is like I get real like that's what fucking fires me up is like dudes thinking they can get away with stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it. Like I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like what did you just like I mean even that thing I mentioned earlier, like in a professional
capacity. Is it just
capacity,
dudes that bother you when they do that, or do you think women who think they get away with it?
But I think there's such a dynamic my entire life has been set up that men treat me a certain way.
Right.
And it won't last forever. I'm 36. It'll last for a few more years, and then it won't be there anymore. And you know what's fucked is I'll probably miss it. I'll probably miss it when guys don't find me attractive anymore, which is like a fucked up thing to reconcile. But I've run my own business for a decade and a half. So I have had to, for a decade and a half, literally sift through men who are either legitimate clients, trying to use it to leverage something gross, trying to like honest to God, frequently I get these emails and I just know, I can smell them out now. Like I'm like, you have no fucking interest in actually respecting what I do professionally and talking to me about this in a way that's like on a professional capacity, like at all. Like you can just tell. And I'm like, you're wasting my fucking time. Like you're not only like, this is offensive in a million different ways, but also I'm busy as fuck and my time is valuable and you're wasting my time right now. But I still have to be courteous to you on the off chance that maybe you are a fucking viable client. I don't know. But then I have to go through this stupid song and dance where I know it always ends in the same spot, which is me being made to feel uncomfortable and then stupid. And then like I have to like address it in some way I don't want to. I don't want to have to always like assert myself or be like, don't do that. Like what the fuck, man? So you do just want to kind of be like, okay. I'm not interested. Ha ha. Like you laugh a lot of shit off that you shouldn't because you don't want to have awkward conversations with people.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
Like the social anxiety you guys are talking about, I have that anxiety all the time. Like
around
my building, my studio. I've been in there for 12 fucking years. Some guy works above me or below me. I don't know. He works in one of the commercial buildings and it's like he smokes outside all the time. And we see each other all the time and we've always been cordial. I'm always like friendly. I'm like, hi, how's it going? And the day he goes to me, apropos of nothing, he's like, how's your boyfriend? And I'm thinking, the fuck? Like, did you see me with somebody? Who are you talking about? And like I went through a breakup fairly recently. So I was I don't, and then I was like, literally it stopped me in my tracks because I was like, we'd never had a conversation like that before. And I was like, I don't know, he's fine. Because I didn't want to get into it. The fact that we were going through this breakup. And I was like, yeah, he's fine. He's like, you don't have a fucking boyfriend. And I was like, sorry, what? And he was like, you don't have a boyfriend.
Just a random guy in your building.
He works in the building. I see him, but I see him all the time. I don't know his name. I like nod and smile at him when he smokes outside. That's about it.
Right.
And then I said, I started laughing because I didn't know what else to say. It took me by such surprise. And I was like, what? And he was like, well, why don't you let me? I said, it's complicated. And he goes, well, why don't you let me know when it gets less complicated? And I was like, okay. And I like walked away. And afterwards I felt so like rattled, and now I'm like, I don't want to cross paths with him. Like it makes me feel uncomfortable when I'm leaving my building at night. I work late a lot, and sometimes I see him in there, and now he's like he's turned himself into like a predator of some sort. Like I'm like grossed out by it. It's like,
but he just sounds like an asshole. I don't know.
That happens all the time.
It's something
you think most guys would do that?
I hope not. But like, I have interactions with like, do you have interactions with I have interactions with shitty dudes.
That's what I was thinking about. Is that I've had shitty interactions with shitty dudes, and it happens here and there.
Yeah.
But the difference is, I don't feel physically intimidated.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So that's the difference. Because, of course, you've been out and you've had drunk idiots harass you or do things. We've been together that it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But I'll fight you. You know, like, it would be fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
do you know what's fucked?
I'll defend
myself.
myself.
I'll fight you too. And I carry a goddamn blade on me in my building now because that guy's a fucking weirdo.
Right.
So, like, I know that makes me sound crazy, but, like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not fake tough. I am tough. Like, I'm really fucking, I have a ranch. I own a shotgun. Like, I'm great with a shotgun.
Right.
Like, I've fucking done a cattle drive on a bareback horse. Like, I've done some shit. Like, I've been all over the world. I've traveled by myself. Like, I know how to handle myself. And I used to box. So, like, I can throw a fucking punch. But even in those circumstances, I'm still
huge
at a physical disadvantage in almost every situation with the dude. And it's like, it's gross feeling that I want to be like, what the fuck? Are you going to like grab me?
I mean, even in like professional playing, there's weight classes for a reason, right?
Yeah,
for sure. There's huge distinctions.
Yeah, even between men.
And then then it's like on because you're not a large girl.
No.
Either, right? So like probably 90% of men are larger than you.
More than that, probably.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like that whole sector is physically intimidating.
Yeah,
it
true.
is.
And how many men have accosted me in my life? It's a lot.
Yeah.
But they don't have the advantage of being always physically intimidating.
No, like that's the thing I don't like. It's every day. Like, and before I got a car, which I drive to work now, but that's only very recently. I walked to work for every day for 4 years.
Right.
Every day. 4 years. My walk to work, which is only about 12 minutes, and my walk back.
Yeah.
Somebody, at least one, and more than one generally.
Right.
Dudes. Fucking harass me. Pull my headphones out of my ears.
Right.
You fucking say hi to me when I say hey back. And I'm like, if you touch me again, I'll break your fucking hand. I'm not kidding. So like, don't constantly.
Once a day, somebody does something like that?
More than once a day. Twice a day?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because you think of how many times it's happened to you, someone has said something randomly, and then also add an attraction.
Right. That was what the Me Too movement was about for me, is that understanding. Like, this is not in the week in bars on the weekends. This is fucking grocery stores, walking at 8 a.m. in the morning to get a coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the Starbucks and these dudes literally surrounded me and are being so uncomfortable. And all I was doing, I was looking at everybody in there to come help me. Like, come fucking ask them to leave. And nobody did anything. I left without my drink coming up because I was like, I just felt gross. And I was like, I don't even want to fight right now. I don't even want to be like, get the fuck away from me. I'm just going to leave my drink on the fucking counter and walk out because I don't want to deal with this.
My question, I actually got in a decent debate with Panita. Do you know Panita?
I do know Panita. Yeah.
It was after, there's a famous New York video where she was walking through New York. Yes. And then there's people catcalling her and stuff.
Yeah.
The only issue is like, like, what's the other alternative? People should be allowed to try and talk to other people. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like so what's the alternative? Because sometimes it does work. Like I've had it work where I'm just drunk and I talk to a random girl on the street, and then things happen. But it's worked for me, and so it's like
it's okay if how you approach it. Like if you
for sure.
Like if you approach it like a fucking creep, then it feels like
if you're across the street and you're just like, hey tits, like something retarded.
Yeah.
All right. So like.
Yeah, I heard. I can't remember who said. I think it was Eric Weinstein that said this. He's a biologist, and he was saying that most women will experience some kind of sexual harassment in their life, but most men don't do it.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
Statistically, that would make sense.
Yeah, like it's
because it's probably like a majority of men.
Do it a lot.
Because it's kind of like a Louis C.K. thing. They're gonna spread it out a lot.
It's a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
It's a guy. The guy's not just doing it when he walks down the street. He's doing it to every single girl he sees.
Well, what's interesting is a guy that's actually went to jail for assaulting me. The reason I called the cops was because I didn't even want to call the cops because I'd had like a situation a year earlier I had called the cops as a witness to an assault and it was just a fucking nightmare. But anyways. Right. So I was like, I don't even want to go down that road again. Like, I'm fine. And then Matt, I was married. And he was yeah, you're fine because you're like a fucking little honey badger. He's like, and you handled yourself. He's like, but what about the next chick he grabs? Right. Like, she's not going to be fine. He's like, like, you need to call because this is like grooming behavior. Like, you know that. And I was like, fuck. Yeah, you're right. And so I called. And the reason they caught him was because he escalated within a 12-hour time period. Right. So he grabbed me. He'd pushed me down on a flight of stairs and shoved his hand up my skirt. And I didn't even I'm an aggressive person. I didn't swear. I don't even, it was like intuitive. Like I just said, like I bought him a sandwich at Sobeys. And so he'd followed me to Sobeys and was smelling my hair. It was a whole fucking thing. And nobody in Sobeys helped me. Like he followed me in. He was clearly identified. Like he was a street involved person who was intoxicated, indigenous. And it was like, he was clearly like people knew him in there. And they were all like, people were watching him so close to me like this, like smelling me. And I was like, fuck, I don't even want to. So I didn't handle it right either because I didn't address it. I just had my headphones in and I was like, I don't even want to fucking talk about it. So I just was hoping somebody would be like, sir, back off. Nobody did. He followed me around Sobeys for 10 minutes. So I finally took my fucking headphones out. I'm like, can I help you? And he was like, can you buy me a sandwich? And I was like, sure. Stop touching me. And he was like, okay. And then finally staff comes over and says, you need to leave because this, he does this all the time. And you're fine now. I said, I'm not fine. He's waiting outside for me. I just told him I'd buy him a fucking sandwich. Did you guys call the cops? Like, what do you mean I'm going to be fine? Like, as soon as I leave Sobeys, he's waiting outside for me. Like, there's no way he's not. And they were like, no, you'll be fine. I buy the sandwich. Sure enough, he's waiting outside Sobeys. So I cross the street and he does the same thing. He's right on my back. He's smelling my hair. I can hear him sniffing. And there's people, it was lunch hour. There's people in suits everywhere. Nobody says anything. There's a million dudes in the streets. He's a big guy. And nobody's like, hey man, get the fuck, like back off. Yeah. He's so inappropriate in so many different ways. Follows me into my studio. So then I turn around and I say in the lobby, which is basically vacant at that point. I said, you need to leave. Like this is where I work and there's nothing for you here. And he goes, I need to go to the bathroom. I said, well, you have to find somewhere else to use it. Like, there's no bathroom here for you. Like, I have to go up to my office. Like, I was lying because I knew that the commercial spaces were vacant. It was literally me alone in a building on 104th. And I was like, you need to go. And then as I turned my back to go, he pushed me down and did the whole thing. And so I literally turned around and I was like, you do not, and I remember exactly what I said. I said, you do not touch people like that unless they want you to. And like, I like asserted, like, I was like, you do not, like, I was like, fucking shocked, and that's what came out. Like I didn't swear, I didn't name call him. I wasn't like, you don't touch people like that, because fuck man, you do touch people like that, but when they want you to touch them like that. So that was like a distinctive thing I said. And then he just was rattled. Like he stood up and was like, whoa. And I was like, what are you doing?
Like he wasn't expecting that kind of calm
and then he ran out. Like he had like I remember he had a red Solo cup. He dropped it and ran out. And I was like, for fuck's sake. So I called, and he had actually physically at that point, he'd grabbed a woman and dragged her into trees and stuff 12 hours later. So he went to jail for not just my thing, other people's things. But
crazy.
Yeah, that was what happened.
Did you have to go through a whole court case and everything?
I chose not to speak, but I went and I had to do like a lineup at the police station. And then they told me that I could get like remuneration for my like emotional whatever. And I said, I'm fine. I'm not going to take money.
How come you didn't want to speak?
No, like they're like, you can make a victim impact statement. And I was like, my victim impact statement isn't going to be impactful. Like I'm going to be like, because this is what the most fucked up thing is. This is going to sound. When the cops came to my house that night, there were like these two big dudes, and I wasn't sure. I didn't even want to talk. Like it's a difficult thing to talk about. So I was like anxious about the conversation, and both of them were like, first off, we just want to say they handled it really well. They were like, first off, we should say like, we're so fucking sorry. Like that's so gross this happened to you. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. And then they were like, and also we have to ask you some uncomfortable questions. I was like, okay. And they're like, are you wearing panties? And I was like, yes. And they were like, okay, did he like penetrate? Like did he put his fingers inside of you? And I was like, no, not really. And they were like, so we had this whole conversation, and I said, but I do have to say, I used to work in bars. Way worse shit happened to me there. And if we'd ever called you back then, you wouldn't have come and taken it seriously.
Right.
Like not you two specifically, but the cops in general. Like when I worked at Hudson's on White, you would not believe the shit that happened. Like hands up skirts, hands on tits, hands in mouths. I got thrown into bathroom stalls twice by dudes who are way bigger than me.
Employees or just random people?
Bouncers, employees, random people, everybody.
Wow, yeah.
So, and it was like a constant, like we were like constantly being assaulted. And it was like, if you told at the time, this would have been 15 years ago though, right? So when you told your bosses, they would be like, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? Of course that's going to happen.
Right.
Like,
That's
what do you want us to do about
for.
it? They're our customers. And I was like, well, I don't want to be assaulted every fucking night at work.
Right.
And they're like, well, I don't know. And I was like, that's crazy. So I said, like, I got to be honest. I think you guys are throwing the book at this dude because he's indigenous and he's homeless. And I was like, he's like every other drunk frat boy. He just was drunk in the middle of the day on a Friday. So like, I mean, why is he getting arrested? And the 3,600 dudes that did this to me in university.
Do you think we've gotten better? Is that maybe why? We've gotten better at recognizing or prosecuting?
No, I still think that they were.
Sure, but do you think we've gotten better?
At what?
At recognizing and prosecuting people who are.
I don't think we've gotten better at prosecuting anything.
No.
I think that there's still like ridiculous biases that exist in the legal systems. But I think as a generation, our generation was kind of the beginning of people taking it more seriously.
Right.
Like I do think I have more allies than people 10 years older than me.
Right.
You know, and I hope it's just getting better. But no, it's like not great. It really isn't.
Yeah.
Like and there's a lot of it's not taken seriously.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit.
And women are still, to this day, like a good friend of mine was raped. And it was awful. Like she had to go to court and the guy's girlfriend was there and the guy's girlfriend we would run into them all. It's Edmonton. We'd run into them all the time. We'd call her, the girlfriend would call her a whore. The girlfriend of the guy who raped this girl I know.
Yeah.
Like she got so blackout drunk and was raped and his girlfriend somehow thinks it's appropriate behavior to be like, this chick's a fucking slut. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like what's wrong with everybody?
My sister was killed. She was shot. And the family at the court case was yelling at my mom.
Right.
Like, this is what you wanted, this way, and stuff is like,
yeah.
So weird. It's so weird when.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah. But so I didn't know that. That's shocking and horrible. But it's the same mentality, like in the court system, where they're just like, you're a fucking slut. And it's like, I was black. I was not coherent. Like I was literally blackout. Like she was like, she had vomited and stuff. Like
they started like cross-examining and trying to like put some blame on you.
And they said like, you were a bartender. You dressed a certain way. Like, I'm not kidding. This happened 4 years ago. This wasn't like, this was like recent.
They've gotten better with cross-examining, haven't they? Where you don't have to take a stand and you can do like a
little bit, but like that's
not. You can do like a behind closed doors statement.
I mean, they're small peripheral victories, but it's not really changing anything.
Yeah, well, I think any kind of change is kind of like a small peripheral change. Yeah, a series of them. Yeah, recognized through stuff like Me Too.
Yeah. There wasn't.
It's tough because the only thing you can have, I think, is a core law. Really, in reality.
The other thing is, I do think is important when I said like allies, like there was a commercial, I think it was filmed in New Zealand that came out and it was like, I don't think people understand, and certainly men a lot of the time don't understand what you mean when you say that. And like, it was a really good example of it because it was like shot on a bus and this woman's sitting there and this guy, and this is a daily microaggressions. It happened all the time. She's sitting and she's like just sitting and her leg, she's wearing a skirt. So it kind of like is riding up because she's sitting down and this guy's like just leering at her, like creepy, like staring at her. And this dude notices and it goes into his interior mind. He's like, oh shit, that's like, that guy's so creepy. Like he's obviously creeping this girl up, but like what am I supposed to do? I'm not gonna stand up, like he's gonna fight me. I don't want to get in a fight. Like what am I'm supposed to like fight for? Like, what do I do? And then instead of doing anything, none of it was aggressive. He literally just stands up and blocks the view without looking at her, without looking at the guy, without initiating a fight. It wasn't about like alphaing anybody. It was like a strategic ally move. Like he was like, this is gross. I'm going to just stand in the way of like sightlines. And then she was like that's a commercial.
Can I give you a counter? And it's kind of comical.
Yeah.
But there's another bus comical video.
Yeah.
Where there's a girl sitting on a bus and she sees an unattractive man and she goes, oh my God, what a creep. Like he's staring at me and I don't know what to do. This is so uncomfortable. And then sees another attractive man and looks at him and goes, oh, he's nice. Doing the exact same thing. Right?
I think so that actually hits on, it does hit on an issue
that is a big
that
issue
I was going to say earlier.
Is that you don't know what the line is or what's reciprocated.
Because sometimes it depends on who it is.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's a very tough issue to navigate. Because sometimes people, they're...
Because I do think most people, like I give people, men or women, the benefit of the doubt. I think most people are good. Like I think if most people see something inappropriate, maybe not everybody will say something, but they'll do something. Like I don't generally think people just turn a blind eye most of the time.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think people do a lot. We're really scared of like confrontation.
For sure. That's the big thing. That's a thing for sure. People but I don't know. It's tough.
It is tough. It's tough. And that's like, I don't have all the answers. I don't even know how you fix it. Like, I don't know what we do other than literally just being like, guys, that's not cool. Like, did you guys see that documentary about those kids, like the high school kids that raped those chicks? And then it was all about sort of like the bystander effect, basically. Like, it was a football team. And
I don't think I saw a documentary, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was like a notorious, it happens all the time. It was like a notorious one.
Yeah.
So
didn't they have like phone recordings and stuff? Yeah,
that's exactly the one. Yeah. And so like they basically were like, how does this happen and get covered up like twice? Like it happened like twice, close to like 2 years apart. Like the same football players from the same school videotaping themselves raping a girl. Like not like grabbing her tits when she's passed out, like physically violently raping her and like laughing at her and then calling her a whore. And there's like this video. And it's like a room of like 14 dudes. And like, listen, man, I was a teenager. We've all been there. We're idiots. We get it. And you don't want to be the person who's like not part of the group. Like you don't want to be the person who's like, hey guys, I think you're all being weird. Like maybe we should re-examine how we're doing. Like you don't want to be that person. You just want to be part of the group so fucking badly that you don't assert yourself. So it's a group of 14 dudes that I'm sure not all 14 of them were horrible human beings, but they were all short of one participating in this conversation where they were like, oh fuck, that chick was a slut today. And there's literally one single voice. And the dude, I think he was the only one that didn't get charged. And he was like, I'm sorry, are we actually talking about you guys raped somebody? Like he like wasn't there. Like, he was like, what are you guys joking about right now? And they were like, oh fuck, this fucking slut. And they're like, no. He's like, wait, you guys, this is like a criminal offense.
They were like sharing videos of it. And
stuff. And so it's one dude in a room of like 15 guys who's like,
fucked up.
What the fuck, guys? Like this is fucked. Like you guys are fucked. What are you doing? And it was like only one of them. Yeah. And it didn't matter because it didn't change the dialogue. But like you need to have not one of them. You need to have 8. Like you need to overpower the other 7 who are like, guys, fucking look at this like slut. You want to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
It's weird how you get like little pockets of just like horribleness. And then you can see how you get this like...
It's Lord of the Flies. That's how it happens.
This like moral group sense where like... Because the group says it's okay.
Yes.
You do it. Okay. It's very strange. That's why you get pockets of like historical weird morality or subjective morality through history. Because it's just like everyone around you's doing it. So you're like, oh, my morality encompasses...
Constantly.
Change. It's very strange. Like Sandusky.
Yeah, Sandusky. That's a good one.
A ton of people knew.
Yeah.
He just raped kids. And they're just like, well, he's a good coach.
Epstein. Fucking all of them. Like the people who are doing that shit. Like I mean,
and whoever killed him.
Yeah, I know that whole thing is.
It's very strange. You get little pockets of just systemic or like systematic
weird shit.
Yeah.
And nobody says anything.
No.
So like, I do agree with you. I do believe that people are ultimately good.
Yeah.
I do think everybody's redemptive, but I think you need to lead by example. And because of that groupthink thing, like you have to be, and it sucks and it's hard and it's not fair, but you have to be the loud voice in a room. You have to be like, and I didn't learn that till I got a lot older and like less concerned about shit and more like just concerned about being a good human and being like, I don't want to stand by while this shit's happening. Like I don't think it's cool at all. So like I will say that, and it's not always a popular opinion. Like
but most people should do that. You're right.
Yeah, and like not in a way where I'm like, listen, you fucking losers. Like again, I don't think you should beat anybody over the head with anything because that's never the way to like bring them to your side. Right. But it's more of like I am fucking disappointed in you guys. Like this is gross to me. And like I've had to say that to some of my guy friends who are like, I'm not like that. And I was like, except for the one time you showed me the video of the threesome you had without asking the 2 girls in it for permission. Right. Like that's kind of like what the fuck, guys? Like I get it. I know we're like, but that's you are without even realizing it. You kind of are part of the problem. Like. Because that's not for you to share, especially not with me, right? And they're like, oh, fuck, I didn't think about that. And I'm like, there you go. So, like, let's just, I'm not saying I'm not going to be your friend. I'm not saying you're a horrible human. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fucked 2 girls. Like, do whatever the fuck you want. But just think about that kind of shit before you start showing it to people or talking about it or, like, framing stuff in a certain way or, like, us versus them, like certain girls who are smart versus girls who aren't. Like, you can call those girls whores. Why? That's not nice. Like, nobody's a whore. You should just be happy they let you fuck them. Like, isn't that what it, like, why you have to degrade somebody? Like, I don't understand that ever.
I'm appreciative.
Plus men shouldn't degrade women who like to have a lot of sex.
Ever. No, nobody like shouldn't.
That's good for you.
Yeah.
And men should.
That's a net positive for sure.
It doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it's always been, and that's like and that's like the other part of the Me Too thing. It's like understanding those big fucking chasm differences between how we're trained to be women, like feminine, and how men are trained to be men.
You know what's I think an interesting, I don't know if a counter, but like an interesting concept is that lately, or like maybe in the last 10, 15 years, sex has kind of turned into this like weirdly conservative, like
what?
Yeah, like
do you think so?
Yeah, like this worry that's so much that like I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like with Me Too, or like you're kind of like taking away the sexual liberation,
Oh.
or it's like it's just so private.
The whole part about consent, like is that what
stuff like that?
Like,
yeah. Like it's such a, but it makes like in people's minds now.
Yeah.
Because it's the Me Too movement, it makes it such a big deal where like sexual intercourse is this huge like private thing.
Yeah.
Right? Which it is,
I
but
don't
like
think so.
But it's kind of like a counter, I find, for like the sexual liberation movement. It's kind of like going in the other direction, back in the other direction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know if I agree with it, but it was more of like a.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept or interesting. I don't know where I read it.
Well, because there's got to be a scale where you don't take the. I'm gonna say this word. I'm gonna get in trouble for this word, but the fun out of it.
Right.
Yeah, like the contractualness.
Yeah. Like there's a.
There is a bit of fun. I gotta admit, on like the playing on the little line there. You know what I mean? And I know women like it as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They like the little line. Like I know some women like the little more physical, or like you like this little bit of line. You like to both play on this line.
Right.
I don't like to play on that line.
Yeah.
So like, and
I actually don't at all.
Yeah.
I've never been a hitter, or even when women are like slap me a little bit, I'm like, no, I'd rather not.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, and it's a personal preference. So like, I have lots of female friends who are like very into it.
Yeah.
Although I think if you're very into it, I do think it's maladaptive. Like I think there's a reason why you're very into it.
Yeah.
And again, that's going to get into a whole conversation about kink, but.
Maladaptive mean negatively
but
adapted?
then there's a reason why anybody's into anything.
Put the French word together.
Ooh.
Isn't it French?
Maladaptive is an English word.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, but the source of mala is it's
the root.
It's a French, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know what the actual word is.
Malady, same thing. So it's malaise, like anyways, but so it is. I do think if you get into like really, really violent kind of territory, which I again have friends that are in there, and I'm like, I don't, and I've said this to them. I'm like, I don't agree with this at all. Like I think there's something fucked, and I think like you need to work through why you like getting.
Yeah.
It becomes like it becomes kind of abusive, and it's like a weird like you're being degraded, and you like it, and that turns you on. So like, what happened? Why do you like that? Because that's what kink is. Kinks are generally
is that wrong?
In response. Well, yeah. It's in response to some trauma.
Probably not always.
Yeah, you don't think somebody just might be into that?
Just might be into it.
I think there's varying degrees of everything. So like if you're talking about like a little bit of choking, but if you're talking about like you're actually being physically hurt through the course of intercourse, like that is generally. I'm not saying that you shouldn't explore those things, but kinks generally are rooted in trauma. That they are. Right. That's just scientific.
I guess you can kind of look at it as like cutting. Right?
Yes.
Cutting is an inherently negative thing that nobody's ever said cutting is good.
Yeah.
So if you're getting physically injured during sex, like you like
you like
pain,
the pain, and it's
you can kind of see some correlation there.
It's not just the pain. Yeah. Cutting self-administered. Like letting yourself be like subjecting yourself to a certain level of like abuse.
Like you feel like
you want somebody to do something.
You feel that low, so you want someone to put you that low.
Generally, and I'm not saying that. I'm sure there's. I don't know who's listening, but like I'm sure there's people who. Anyways, but there is like. Kinks are generally rooted in trauma. Anybody who's like overly into like violent sex is usually in response to trauma. Everything is in response to trauma, generational trauma. It's just the way it is. But I do think that you can have amazing, fun, non-violent sex that like doesn't toe the line. Like there are some women that are into it, but I'm not one of them. Like because I'm a huge.
Yeah, but I guess what the question is, what do you do about that then? Like if somebody's into it,
it's consent. Like if you're a woman who's into it, you lead the charge. Like it's about any other kind of sex. Like it's all in the nuance of it. Yeah. So it's like you literally like you dip a toe into something, and if they don't stop you or they look like they respond to it in a way that they're excited about it, then you keep going. And it's a series of nuanced whatever. It's a nuanced dance. Like that's sex with everybody though. Like
you've done it before.
No, but I was thinking of that Louis C.K. joke where he talks about the girl who wanted him to rape her.
Yeah.
Right.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
Just thinking of like, where the line is where you're.
I don't think there is a line if you're with a girl who likes that though. That's not her line. And then when you're with a
no, but you don't.
She's telling you where the line is. I think.
Yeah.
No, for sure in the moment, but then.
I think from a male perspective, you're worried. You're worried about it when it gets retracted.
Yeah, now you're worried about like like the concept.
But again, that's a trust conversation. Sex is about trust. Like don't fuck people you don't trust.
It's interesting that I just saw this now. But it's interesting that men are very often, as a man, I know this. Men are very often worried about the line getting retracted. Are you not? Right? You have been.
Like doing a thing and then having them be like, I actually didn't like that.
Yeah.
Like, is that what you okay?
Yeah, or like even having sex with a girl, she wakes up the next day and she regrets it.
Right.
The line was retracted.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever thought about that.
You've never heard this before. It's a very common complain.
I don't know if I've ever thought about that.
Especially with the Me Too movement.
I've
never thought of it personally, but I know men talk about this all the time and they worry about it, right?
Yeah. I've heard that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's an interesting thing because it's probably so rare.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
But there's almost a correlation between everyone who has sex has some kind of worry.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Right,
Sure.
Right,
it's like that's a
right.
man's worry.
Saying.
Yeah.
Women also have sexual fears, of course. That's the whole conversation about.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's a man's sexual fear.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to deal with in that territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a tough territory to be in.
Yeah, I would say. I mean,
and that's kind of what I mean by the move to conservatism with sex.
Right.
There's so many more lines and rules and stuff. Whereas in sexual liberation, it was just everyone just having sex with everyone, and it's kind of coming back where it's like no, there's a lot of contractual rules or obligations or fears or worries.
I don't know.
It's not as loose and just like open.
But
as
you want to know what's
was.
interesting is that so I have two of my very best girlfriends are both psychologists. One of them is has a family practice, so she's a family psychologist. But she did basically all of her stuff on like sexual psychology. So very interested in like sex and sexuality and actually like sex and sexuality and sort of like prepubescence, like when you're kind of forming your sexual identity. Like she's very interested in that. And the other one is a criminal psychologist who lives in Florida. She works at actually she spoke at Senate on gun control in Florida.
Oh, cool.
Fucking badass bitches who are like very intelligent and like amazing in their fields, like leaders in their fields, psychological fields. So we get into these kinds of conversations all the time. When we're talking about prison systems in the States, there's so much I could say about that because like she did her degree in Phoenix and now she lives in Florida. Yeah. Fucking Tallahassee. Anyways, but the one that was doing her dissertation on like sexual identity and stuff, she said generationally we always believe that sex has changed or like kids are more promiscuous or things are more conservative or whatever, and consistently across the board it's usually just the same. Like our sexual proclivities are the same. Our sexual when we on average when we lose our virginity, the amount of sexual partners we have, like it's been steady for as long as we've been tracking those numbers.
How long have you been tracking those numbers? Because that seems outrageously untrue.
Well, it's like anything, right? Like how long have we been tracking it? Like it's all, and statistics aren't necessarily, I get in this fight all the time with my friend Scott, who's a lawyer. The validity of statistics, like they're skewed. They're just going to be skewed. Yeah. Because they're pools of populations, right? But there was this whole fear.
I like statistics though, but I don't know.
I'm not saying I don't like them, but you have to use them with the same idea that they're not, they're skewed. Like you can't use it and then you can't.
I get in arguments about polling all the time because people hate polls. I'm like, it's statistics.
They're statistics.
They can be wrong, but it's a probability.
Yeah. But I think we haven't changed that much sexually. I think it's just like there is this conversation that's happening instead of behind closed doors, like more out in public about consent and stuff like that. But like, it doesn't read to me as conservatism.
Let me ask you this: would you think people would be better off if sex was like handshakes? Do you think people would be mentally better off?
Define that. What do you mean handshakes?
It didn't matter. People just did it, and it didn't mean anything. It's just people.
I see what you're saying.
It's just like would humans be better off if it just didn't matter?
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right? Probably.
I mean, they'd probably be better off. I would hate it because, like, I'm a very emotional person when it comes to sex.
But you wouldn't be, right? Because it would be like
I know. So I'm saying, it'd be huge. I think people, it is like handshakes for some people. Like, I think I'm friends with some of those people who are like, I don't really care. Like, it's just, it is what it is.
But it seems to me that humans would be better off
probably
if we
didn't care about it as much. Yeah.
As anything.
If we were all sociopaths, you mean?
Yeah, like animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only in that degree. Only in that one degree.
Yeah. I think honestly, it probably would get rid of a ton of shit that we have as a society that's problematic.
Right.
But
right.
I mean, then it would take a thing that I really like and ruin it. Like it would be.
Would
shitty.
it though? Because if it's like handshakes, we all really want to do it all the time. I don't mean handshakes, but I mean like that's why it's gotten there because you're just like everyone's just down.
No,
to
because
do
then
it.
you're taking the emotional part out of it entirely, and you're making it a physical response. And like I don't think that's what sex is. I don't think it's just a physical response. Like I think
I don't think it is.
A bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I got a last question for you.
Okay.
Last question.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's two questions, but they're pretty much the same question.
Okay.
But it's on it because you brought up gender.
Yes.
Right, and now you want to talk about gender.
I mean,
we have, but it's a question that I wrote down.
Like
I knew this.
Had this microphone in the right place this entire time, but it's gonna be here.
So, what are women better at than men?
Like, you want my opinion, or you want the scientific answer to that? Okay.
Well, wouldn't your opinion be the scientific answer to that?
I think everybody, again, statistics are skewed. Like, I think everybody's experiences can be.
Do you think you're biased on the statistics?
Would that statistic be? How would it be skewed? Because that's again like a probability thing. It's like it's like a majority but that's a statistic, not everybody.
Well, we have like a better palate. I know that for a certain fact. We're better.
You bitch.
Oh, I know, right? We're better sommeliers. There's less of us.
Back to the fruit. Top 5 fruit.
There we go. Dragon fruit. Here we go.
Like an acai. Okay, fuck you. No. I think that we are often better, and like this is something that's been talked about recently. I think we are often better in leadership positions in boardrooms. Like I think we handle things better under stress because we have to multitask. Like we do the whole third tier labor stuff, like all the home care shit, and then like you take like I don't have children. So I'm not in the same dynamic. I'm not married. I'm single. Yeah. Like I'm not in the same dynamic as a lot of women are that have to deal with all that shit. Like I don't deal with it. So like it's different. But I see in my life like examples of women have this fucking insane capacity to like function off no sleep, no food.
I've seen that too, and it's so impressive.
Be moms.
You know what's weird about that too?
Yeah.
Scientifically, women actually perform worse on no sleep.
Well, I know,
but somehow I've seen so many women that this like, how the fuck? So shout out Rebecca.
But you just notice them more because they're women?
Well, I've only ever lived with one woman, so like I'm going pretty off that one.
Yeah,
but she would get 3 to 4 hours sleep and she never complained about anything, never complained about hangovers.
Shocking.
Like she just I was going to say womaned up.
Well,
you know, and like just 3 hours, no problem.
Like, the two
very
women,
impressive. I'm like, I don't get 7 hours, I'm crying.
It's fucking shocking. Like the 2 women friends I talked about, other psychologists. One of them has a family. She's got 2 kids. Yeah. And I was in the delivery, like I was in the delivery room when she had one of them, and it was fucked. Like I was like, I don't know if you guys have been around that shit, but like I don't know why.
Kids.
Oh, do you have 2 kids? Yeah. I don't know why like baby showers are not more
both
like
men though. Sexist.
Yeah, you had to saying that.
Both
hey?
boys.
Do they like green apples too?
Yeah.
So, but I think
they haven't been to South Africa yet.
There you go. All right. Well, I mean, that's not where there are some good apples there too.
You're not living that one down.
Anyway, well, yeah. So I do think that women do that shit well. Like I have 3 sisters, like I mentioned before, and one of them is a head of internal medicine at Royal Alec. She's got 3 kids under 5. Her husband is also an impressive man. Like he's an executive. He's summited every major summit in the world. He led a summit to Everest. Like they're an impressive couple. Like all my sisters and their partners are impressive. Like don't get me wrong, but she's the one that I'm like, she's my older sister, and I look at her and I think, how the fuck are you doing this? Like you run a household, you run a hospital, you have 3 little kids, and her husband is a capable man, but I think often men get myopically focused. They focus on one task at a time, and then a lot of the stuff that needs to happen for their lives to be lubricated falls to the wayward, and then their wives just pick it up. And so I think women
have you heard of the difference between PC and P? So like production capability and production.
No, I don't think so.
So it's like you have to do all this other stuff to keep your production going, and men are really bad at that.
Yes,
men are just good at production. They're not good at like meditating, going to gym, or like do all this other like more stuff to keep everything in line.
Yes. And I think women are good at that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if we're good at it, or if it's just the expectation is that we'll do it. Like that's actually because like I don't think I'm good at that stuff. Like I loathe traditional gender roles. I loathe them. Like when I was married, I'd be like, why don't you? I'm not fucking cooking for her. That's absurd. Like we both work. I'm exhausted. I don't want to cook right now. Like. You know, and like I have never subscribed to traditional gender roles ever in my entire life. Like I just haven't. So like it's not something I really do or like see myself as like I don't think I will be a mom. Like I don't really see myself in that role. I feel like a lot of the times I'm more like a guy in a million different ways. So like I look at other women and I'm more like, oh, look at your ability to do that, but like I'm not that good at that. Like I don't. I don't know.
It's interesting because studies would say men are the better CEOs because they're more aggressive. So they can do this stuff, and women like to be more agreeable, so they're not going to put people in their place that need to be put in their place.
I guess it depends on the women you know.
Of course, that's what statistically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's like a scale.
Yeah.
Like I think I heard this same statistic that men tend to be more aggressive, but it's only a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
But it's the tail ends that you look at.
Yeah, it's the hyper.
Right? So the most aggressive people on earth are probably men.
It's a quote where like if you look at the top 100 aggressive people, they're all men, and if you look at the top 100 agreeable people, they're all women.
Yeah, but that's also like grooming, right? Like we've been groomed to be agreeable, men have groomed to be aggressive. So let's say they're part of it, and like there's not enough. Like so, this is a more groomed
and evolved, I would say.
Yeah, like what?
Both. Nature and nurture. I think it's a twofold thing, right? Like the expectation that you'll be agreeable as a female is like kind of.
So maybe this is your second question. What do you think men are good at? Is that your second question?
Yeah, of course.
Better at than women?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are stronger than us.
Nothing.
So like any
we're not even physical characteristics because that's everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's I mean that becomes like a point of contention for some people though, and I do think it's important to mention like any kind of like physicality. I think
is there something that's not physical though?
Yeah. I don't know. Like the thing that's weird for me is like I know a lot of like men that probably fit really untraditional gender roles themselves. Like my ex-husband was one of them. Like he looks a certain way. Like he was like a buff dude, and he looked like he looked like a presentation of like a masculine man, but I was more masculine. He was in a million different ways. And that's not a dig at him. Like, I loved that he was a person who was more emotionally articulate, more sensitive. He liked touch more than I did, like non-sexual touch. Like, I'm a more sexually aggressive person. He was more like tender.
You know what's interesting about that?
But what's
almost, and I don't know if this is true for you, Tyler,
what?
But almost every married or long-term couple man I've known, the woman is more sexually aggressive.
Yeah.
I think men are just, and I wonder if it's an evolved thing where men are just like over it. You know what I mean? Like
that is a thing.
Because like they want to spread it around, right? So that and then women,
the sexual drive drops for men as women
goes up, which is that's why there's a lot of those kind of.
But I didn't hear anything that we're good at in that. You just said that we're.
Well, I think that men are good at
a specific.
Yeah, like what are we good at?
I think men are good at everything, like, and just like women are too. Like, I really don't think that there is a thing that you're.
Yeah, but you pick something for women. You gotta pick something for men.
Do you know the reason?
Come on.
You know why I think it's such an interesting question?
Why?
Because I saw a video online. And this guy went up to maybe 30 different women.
Yeah.
Right? And they found it very easy for women to answer what they think women are better at.
Right.
And very difficult to say what men are better at.
Right.
Where there's things they can think of.
Right.
But I think women have a hesitation to say them.
I'm honestly just like, I don't, and this, I'm not just saying this to like sound cool, but like, I really don't see gender lines as rigid.
Right.
Like, I see them as very fluid. So like, I think that you're, both
what do you mean by that, though?
Would be very good at everything, and like I'm also good. At
I
a
like
lot
to
of
think
stuff.
so.
Like,
yeah, but
I don't think there's like one
that
thing
can't be true.
men and women are like distinctively gendered better at, and that's why I said strength because that's a gender thing. You guys are stronger than us, so like I can say that, and like I know women are put in roles as mothers and caregivers and home taker care.
Yeah.
So those are gendered things that are like built into us that are kind of more archaic. Like, but I don't think that. I think we're all good at everything, or we could be.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
Genders are more alike than they're different.
That's how I feel.
But they're different. I think like there's a 90-90, but there's a 10.
What do you guys think that guys are better at? Because I don't even know if I can answer that. Like, I think that they're great at everything.
Well, I agree with you. You can take traits that typically men are at. So aggression is one. Yeah. And you can find aspects of why.
So you're better at being aggressive?
Well, aggressive means a very specific thing. Which
it's a specific thing where you can see
like
where that
a leadership
would be.
role.
Yeah, like
you're aggressive because you can like you can be like you can reprimand people.
Like didn't you?
You can make people do what you want. Like in a leadership role where you can put people in categories and organize stuff.
Yeah. So you think men are better in leadership roles than women?
I mean, I think statistically it seems to be true.
Well, I don't care about statistics. What do you guys think?
I would only say statistics. I don't because
I
so
look
it's the
at
same
what
thing, like you guys would feel the same way I do, which is like
because I'm going to judge people when I meet them, but statistically that seems to be true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually just wanted to know what your answer was because
I do find it interesting because and I think the hesitation is that there is a desire or you don't want to say the gender roles. And I think
and it goes for both ways.
And I think because
like if you were to ask men, you could probably find
you don't want to buy into the stereotypes. Right. Is what it is. I think.
I think.
Like, didn't you find it easy to find something?
Yeah,
because now you're like, well, everybody's good at everything.
No, I didn't. I found it like, I mean, I think I said something that was a pretty typical answer, just like I said, men are stronger. Like women run households. That's what I said. And so I said I think they end up being better in CEO positions because they run households. So like, I think that's. But I think. You know, I think men. I think they're.
I think you did nail on a good one though. Men are very good at focusing in on something.
Yeah.
And
that's
destroying that one thing.
Yeah.
Like doing really good at one thing, and women don't find. Like they want more out of life.
I think we're more distracted.
They want more out of life. They want to have a full life, and men are just like, no, I'm going to crush this one thing.
But that's why
that
you would
into
find
leadership.
You would find
they'll put everything
things,
else aside to win at this one thing.
I will say one thing I know that I think women are worse at is they over personalize things. So sometimes they bring emotion to stuff that there shouldn't be emotion involved in, or they take it personally. So like I think the way women are mean to other women is specific to women. Like men aren't.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
That's a fair thing.
Men are not.
It does seem to me. It does seem to me that men like men more than women like women.
Yeah.
In a sense that like men don't have a personal attack at other men generally.
So I'd say men are more, but again I align, like I said, I yin and yang. I feel quite masculine, so like I'm not passive aggressive.
But there's
a scale, right?
Yeah.
I guess we're just talking about the end.
Yeah, and there's also a good explanation for that, and it's the crab effect. That when there's a power dynamic and men are at the top, they don't need to be you know what the crab effect is?
No.
It's when crab are trying to get out of the bowl. They'll never get out
And then
because the
they'll
other ones will pull them down.
Oh, right.
right?
I
Yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
think about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That does happen.
Yeah.
So I think men are better at being more direct than I would say. But I think sometimes men also have a difficult time being emotionally literate. So I think they have stuff, and I hear that a lot from men I know and date and love, that they're like, not all of them, but they're like, I feel like I have stuff inside of my head that I don't do a very good job at all at getting outside of my head. Like,
Right.
and I feel like it's done me a disservice my entire life because I can't say what I want really
verbal
articulately.
or written or both.
Both. Like
Both.
they can't just get it.
Because
Like,
I'm
they
bad
have
at verbal,
feelings.
but really good at written.
Yeah.
I can't. My mind's just like. And
Well, you're right.
I
Sure,
know this
right?
because you always want to like argue with me over text. I'm like, I can't
I don't
do
stop.
this over text.
Yeah, I don't stop,
I'm
bro.
like, let's just meet.
Yeah, you're like, you'll say, I'm done. Let's talk in person, and I'll just
Yeah.
keep going. I'm like, I'm not letting you get out of this.
I also think guys let themselves be like, the reason why I have all those like guys that I'm good friends with that I do like those are when I'm doing like snowboarding trips or like if we're going to like music festivals or we're doing shit like that. Like I want to go with dudes like because we have a ton of fun and like it's just not. It's not complicated, so I think maybe they do a good job.
I've noticed that
Being
too.
more fun.
Men are not really organized. They're more spontaneous on trips, and women are like, no, I got a whole itinerary. I'm doing this for 14
Totally.
days.
Right,
I know
right,
exactly
right.
to
I'm
the
not
time.
like that. So like I don't like, and I have tons of female friends that we connect on different levels. But like if I'm going on a trip, like I want to go with my boys. Like I want to like go and just we're gonna fucking shred. We're gonna like shuck on beers. Like it's dumb shit, but I like that stuff. And like I'm gonna get up. It's gonna take me 5 minutes to get ready, and then we're gonna all hit the hill together. Like I like that stuff. And I've got girls that are like me in my friend group, so they'll come on those trips. But we're outnumbered. Like it'll be me and like there's 2 other girls I'm friends with that are like that. That are like authentically like fit in with no problem with groups of guys. Like I've had guys be like, I want you to be a groomsman in my wedding. And I'm like, like it's like I like because we just get along. And like they'll take me, like we'll go and we'll talk about like their girlfriends because they're like,
do you have a lot of girlfriends?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think it's a different thing anymore. Like it's not unnatural or weird.
Did it feel unnatural when you guys were younger to have girlfriends? Like friends that were girls?
No, I wouldn't say that. But I don't deny the fact that there's always going to be
tension.
There'll be always
sexual tension.
That's what I was just going to ask you guys. Actually,
Like,
I want to
for
ask you
sure.
guys a question. Like, do you think you can have an authentically platonic relationship?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I do have some for sure.
I think it's
Matheson is not
easier
watching
for
this,
women
but-
than it is for men.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so.
It's easier for women.
I
Yes,
think Scott
yes.
would rather
Yeah.
chew
Like-
his dick off than put it inside me. Like, I don't think he has.
No,
any
but I mean
interest.
general. I don't want to like take
Yeah.
a specific.
Yeah.
But I think like men are more.
Would you rather
pig-like? Yeah.
chew your dick off?
I honestly think like he would be like, I don't know. Like, I think it would be fucking horrific for both of us. Like, we are just like siblings. Like,
Yeah,
we're friends like that. But that's not very. There's
he
a
might
lot of
just
my
be
guy
saying
friends.
that
Yeah, I
to
was
get in
gonna say
there.
it's always in the back of your
I mean, like it's easy to say that.
No, I
but,
think a lot. I will agree with you, and I think a lot of my guy friends, like I think there's a bit of that like kind of fun, like sexy tension always, and that exists. But like I do think it's possible to have it.
Yeah, I
not
think it's
be.
possible.
Sure,
but I think
it's probably based on you more.
No, I really
Yeah.
don't think with this one for example.
No, not
it is.
this specific example, but I mean like, if you had a bunch of guy and girlfriends together, the reason that the guy's not at least trying to have sex with the girl is probably because she made it very obvious that she doesn't.
And he thinks,
Yeah.
if he tries long enough,
Like,
it's gonna be a
I
one
think-
drunken night.
yeah, like,
that
I think there's
maybe
always
Do
gonna be
guys
that
actually
tension.
have that in the back of their head? Like
Oh, yeah,
one day,
100%.
6 years from now, this girl I've been friends with forever.
he doesn't know when it's gonna happen.
Do you guys do that? Like, do you have people that you categorize?
No,
like that?
I know guys who do that.
What?
I don't know if I've ever
What?
had like not ever done that.
Right.
But I've had platonic relationships. But if it was ever in the back of my mind, it's always eventually happened.
Did either of you guys ever date a friend? Like, did you ever have that happen? Like, you were friends with somebody for years and you ended up
not
dating them?
years. I was friends with someone for like a year, and then they were dating somebody else, and then
Yeah.
and then it happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't think about like the whole year. I wasn't thinking about the relationship.
Right.
At all.
Okay. It just
Right.
it wasn't like a plan. That
No,
you,
not at
yeah,
all.
okay,
I had
yeah,
no.
yeah.
I didn't really have any.
And
kind
it's not necessarily dating. Like you could be friends with somebody and not be like, oh, I want to like date this person. Like you wouldn't do that for all your girlfriends. But for sure, in like the back of your mind, more for guys than it is for women. Is probably
Yeah, if they're attractive, like you'd be
especially
like,
if they're
you'd be like, why
especially
not?
if you find them
You'd be
attractive.
like, why not?
Yeah.
Men don't have the same kind of like oh, do we ruin the friendship thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
See, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
so aware of that. Like, I
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
draw
it would,
really,
but men are
yeah.
just
Yeah,
like,
it would ruin
It
them.
would, but
yeah,
men are
it
like
would.
men are probably just like, nah.
But they're impulsive. Right? Like they're-
I probably could.
they
make
turn
it
into
work.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like what's that joke? They
Probably
turn
make it
into the Hulk when they getting horny, right?
Yeah.
And
Do you
then,
guys
and
think
then they come down.
do you
They're
think
like,
that's true?
what?
Do you think that like you're like? Do you feel like you don't have control over yourself sometimes?
I think it's.
No,
different
we're
for
talking
men.
about this last. I have a very low sex drive, so I don't know.
No, but I think
Yeah.
when you're going, I don't think about much. Like I'll make bad decisions if I have a boner. For sure.
I think this is important in this, and I don't want to I know we probably are going over time, but one thing I want to say at the end of this conversation is I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I was listening to this one, and it was a woman who is transitioning to a male, so female to male.
Right.
And she was like a fucking pitchfork carrying feminist because she had been, like she'd be like an exclusionary feminist, like she would be like women should rule the world and we don't need them, like fucking which I've never aligned with, but and then she goes through this transition, so she's on hormones, male sex hormones, right? And so she's speaking very candidly, and she's like, I'm on a bus, and it's the first time I've ever felt this, but this like chick gets on, and she's like, and I felt like I turned into the fucking Hulk. Like I was like a disgusting bag of shit. Like I was like, I couldn't stop staring at her tits. And then I was like getting aroused. And then I was like being a creep, and I could see myself like leering at her, and I wanted to like punch myself in the face, but I had no control over my body. And she's like, it changed everything I believed about men and like toxic, not just toxic masculinity, like as like a term, but like men being aggressive and like this kind of like fervor that they just like push each other. She's like, I realize that there is a real significant difference between male sex hormones and female sex hormones.
I do really believe that. Like that's why I think it's like weird with the sex thing is that there is an aspect of there's always going to be that tension. So what is it you're trying to do about it? Yeah, I guess it's the question, because that is a thing. And then like for sure, like I've made bad decisions just because of sex.
This is again, I have a very high
and when
sex
you're
drive.
Done, you're always like, that was dumb.
I feel
and
the
then
same
you come
way.
back down.
Yeah, I've definitely had sex with women I shouldn't have had sex with.
But in the moment, you're like, you're the Hulk, right? You're not thinking about it. And then you come down, you're like, what the fuck did I just do?
Totally. But like, I identify with that more than some women who are not.
No, but like, there's an anomaly. Like I think a general
outliers.
a general
I have a pretty
thing,
low sex drive, and most of my reasons for having sex is because societally people look up to people who have a lot of sex.
Do you think so? Yeah. Like, is that why you want to have sex? Is because you think it's a status thing?
But it's like there's definitely a sex drive I have.
Right.
But that's a large portion of why.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's definitely, I don't know if I'm majority, but it's a definitely.
I think I just
portion.
like sex.
That's why I had a joke was like when women were like, "Oh, don't tell anyone we had sex." I was like, "Of course I'm telling people."
Yeah.
That's why I did it.
Yeah.
No, interesting.
No, like again, like I'm a person who like I'm 36. I date men who are exclusively younger than me. Yeah. Like sometimes very younger, and so that's like a thing. It's become like people are like, "Wow, good for you," and I'm like, "Why? Why good for me?" Like men do it all the time. They've been doing it for generations. Like I think it's absolutely fucking fine and not even that remarkable that I'm with men who are younger than me constantly. But I do think it has a lot to do with that sex drive thing. Like guys who are 25 are awesome. Like they're just like, they've got some other stuff they need to work on. But like that compatibility. That compatibility is great, right? Because I do have a high sex drive. So that's like, and that's like, I am a sexually liberated person, but like sex is about respect for me too. So like these kids aren't trying to choke me.
But like sometimes. Sometimes disrespect is fine.
Like a certain amount of it.
Mutual disrespect.
Yeah, like a little
mutual
bit.
disrespect.
But like if somebody was like choked me hard, like I'd choke them back, or like I'd do something bad. Like I would be.
That's what he wants.
Yeah, maybe I don't know what I mean. But like I don't. That's interesting though that you feel like that, because I know guys that feel like that, and like I don't feel like that. I feel like if anything, I shouldn't be talking about my sex drive because it casts me in a negative light.
Yeah. Well, I think mine cast me in a negative light as a male,
so, like,
but I don't really care. Yeah.
I don't care.
A lot of things they say cast me in a negative light, so it's okay.
In the middle.
I'm okay with that.
I think I like sex just a lot too. Yeah. I think I always have.
Yeah. I think it's a lot to do with like I need to embrace it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. We're good. Anyway.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Episode 11.
Episode 11. All right.
I don't think I looked at the camera one time.
No. I was thinking about that.
Over there.
Over there. I'm looking at myself in the mirror all the time.
Oh, I can't even.